All right, so we shall continue with this paper. Remember, we're not doing any repeats that we did.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
gonna post a video of the one that we did this morning. So any question we have to skip over, persons can go and watch it again. All right. Remember, I can invite anybody, you know. You don't have to be persons from our regular class. Anybody who want to come and join, once they keep the mic mute, they can join. So you can invite your friends if you want, no problem. All right. Okay, so question one here. This number corrected to 3 decimal places. So decimal places, not significant figures. So if I count the number of decimal places, number of places after decimal point. 1, 2, 3. So basically trying to correct this value, the 0. So to correct this value, we use a number that comes after, which is a 6. So since that value is greater than 4, usually once it is 5 or more, we increase this by 1. All right, and so that corrected value, the 3 decimal places, is this. If the question had said 3 significant figures, then it would be this, 3.14, if that said 3 significant figures. We said 3 decimal places, so we are counting decimal places. All right, we did this question earlier, all right, and the answer was 20. What percentage of 40 is 8? This was on the first paper we did, so I'm skipping over that one. All right. All right, using the distributive property, what is this equal to? So this really is the same as 49 times 17 and 49 times 7. So it's like 17 of this plus 3 of this, which is 20 of the 49s. Or if you go straight by the distributive law, then it's basically a matter of factorizing. So like you're making the 49 the subject, the factor. And so it becomes 49 bracket 17 plus 3. That becomes 49 times 17 and 3 is 20. And so that is it. All right, because remember the distributive law is about factorizing and expansion basically. All right. This one, it says, what is the next term in the sequence? It's a matter of observing what is happening in the sequence so we can decide what's to here. All right, so let's look at it. First, there's a plus 5. So they keep adding, right? Keep adding. So you add 5 first, then you add 7 to get that one. Then you add 9. So you keep adding twice as much each time. And then clearly you added 11 to go from 22 to 33. So the next addition has to be 13. 13. So we're adding 13 to that. All right. So 33 plus 13 is 46. So the next value is 46. So just basically observing the pattern. You keep adding 2 more to each subsequent value. All right. That is that. Next one, 0.45 written as a common fraction, simple. You put the 0.45 as 45 over 100. And then you divide it down, right? So you can go 5, divide numerator and denominator by 5. 5 into this is 9, 5 into that is 20. 9 and 20 has no common factor, and so it is 9 over 20. So the answer here is A. All right, this question is pretty straightforward so far. All right, this question. It says a certain amount, you'll be careful these questions, right? It can be done very, very easy. Ratio questions are very easy. You can do it in a way where you multiply and divide by a constant to get what you want. All right. So a certain amount of money is shared in the ratio 2 to 3 to 9. 2 to 3 to 9. So that's how many parts? That's 14 parts. 5 and 9. 14 parts. It says if the difference between the first and the second share, that's the difference between these two shares, is $40, then the amount of money shared, so I want the total. So look, I'm going to set it up now. because you can put in other parts of the ratio, you know. So I'm gonna go, the ratio is 2 to 3 to 9. I'm gonna put in the information that they told us. Let's put that in red, right? Or let's put it in blue. I'm trying to do it the same way as a solution that I send. I'm just explaining now. So I'm gonna put in a ratio, which is the second term minus the first term as a ratio. The second term minus the first term, that difference is 1. And that ratio is 1. And I'm going to put in yet another part, which is now the total. So put in another part of the ratio, which now is the total. So they didn't give us these. The total is 14, right? 14, 9 and 5, 14. And what it is that you want the difference to become 40. And then when the difference becomes 40, then you'll know what everything else is. So for the difference to become 40, we basically have to multiply the ratio by 40 because we want the one to become 40. So we multiply the entire ratio by 40 so that the difference becomes 40, right? And we multiply it through by the 40, you'll see what the other parts are, right? So it means that this part becomes 40, and then this part, which is the total that they want, becomes 40 times 14. Now 4 times 14 is 56, times the 10 gives you 560. 560, that is the total. But if they wanted other information, then this would be 360. And 40 times 3 will be 120. And 2 times 4 will be 80. Now this part of it you don't need, you know. This is what you need, the total. So this is the answer. But they could have asked, for example, for the largest portion or what have you, right? And you get that from these parts right here, from those parts of the ratio. But that's how we can do. The difference will be 1, and then you want it to become 40. The difference is 1, the total is 14. You want the difference to be 40, so you multiply the entire ratio by 40. And that shows you that when the difference is 40, the total is 56. As simple as that. Not 56, 560. So the answer for that one is 560 right here. All right. Next one. Which of the following sets is equivalent to this? Equivalent sets have the same number of elements. So the number of elements in this one is 4. So you want to find a set that has 4 elements, which is this one as well. Equivalent sets have the same number of elements because n equals 4 for this one as well. The number of elements is 4. So that is why that one is the answer. All right. This question, as I say, is very popular. That is P complement. Everything outside of P is P complement. All right. P complement is the answer there. All right. So we'll finish this page. Move on to the next page. The next question, number 9, gives us this Venn diagram, and it says you are the students who play games. Each are those who play hockey. V are those playing volleyball. The number of students in each set is shown, right? So 5 play hockey only, and 2 play volleyball and hockey. 4 play volleyball only, and there are 3 out here play none of the hockey. Play neither hockey nor the volleyball, right? It says how many students do not play volleyball. So the volleyball are the ones inside here, right? So those who don't play volleyball would be this and this. Don't play volleyball, right? So basically that would be 5 and 3. 5 who play hockey only and 3 who play none. So 5 and 3 is 8. So the answer for that one is 8. All right, next question. This one says, I think we did this question already. The number of elements in Q is 3. So the number of subsets is 2 to the 3rd power, 2 cubed. Always 2 to the n power. 2 to the n is the number of subsets. In this case, the n is 3, so it's 2 cubed. So the 2 cubed time is right here. I've seen questions where the 2 cubed is the first value, is A. Another question, it might be D, right? In any case, the answer is 2 cubed, whichever letter you assign the 2 cubed to. They should set this question again. All right, number 11. We did this question already too. It says which of the sets is empty, and we said it is a Q and the R. There's no number that is odd that is also even. So it's a Q intersect R. So this time it is the last one, D. Right? Q intersect R has no elements in it. Right? It's an empty set. All right. This question as well, similar to the one that we did earlier. All right. So P and Q are two sets where the number in the union is 13, the number in the intersection is 6, the number in P is 9, so the one the number in Q. So remember now, the number in P plus the number in Q must equal the number in the intersection, which is P intersect Q, plus the number in the union, P union Q, running out of space, P union Q. All right, and you put in the value that I gave you. So the union is 13, the intersection is 6. So this side add up to 19. So this side also must add up to 19. It must balance. So the number in P is 9. Then you need 10 to make 19. You need 10. And that's it. The number in Q must be 10. As simple as that. This is 10. And that's it. All right. Next question. I think we did this one already this morning. No, we didn't. It says a man's taxable income is $20,000. It says he pays tax at a rate of 28%. The amount of income tax he pays, therefore, is 28% of 20,000. Right? So say 28 times 2 is 56. So the answer with the 5 and the 6 must be the answer, right? That must be the answer. As simple as that. But if you want to show the working out, it will be 28% of $20,000 is the tax that he pays. Because this is a taxable amount, so he pays tax on that amount. Right? And based on the values here, it must be 2 times 28, it must be 56 something. So clearly that is a 5600, right? Goes without saying. The next question. The basic wage for a 40-hour week. Basic wage for a 40-hour week is $160. A man's basic wage for a 40 hours week is $160. He is paid $5 per hour for overtime. So every hour overtime he works is paid $5. Right? If he works 6.5 hours of overtime in a certain week, his wage for that week is, so he's gonna get his basic wage of $160 to start with. Then he's gonna get the overtime rate of 6.5. That's 6.5, or I can say 6.5 times the overtime rate of $5 for every hour, which is times $5. This is the same as 6 times 5 and then half times 5. That's what that is. All right. So it's 160 plus 6 times 5 is 30, and then the half times 5 is 2.5. So therefore, that is 192.5. 192.5, right? 160 and 30 is 190, and then 2.5, so it's 192.5. So the answer is this one. All right, to do this calculation, it's easy. Just say 6 times the 5, and then half times 5, and you add it, because it's 6.5. So it's 6 times 5, and then half times 5. Because you can't use a calculator, so you have to have these different methods of working these things out. All right, so next page. All right, so this question, we did this question earlier, right? And I said we did it as a ratio, right? And the answer was $2.50. All right, we're not repeating the question that we did already. You can just watch the video from this morning and you'll see it. It says the annual interest rate on a 15-year mortgage. The annual interest rate on a 15-year mortgage on a house assessed at a value of $450,000. It's 5 cents for every $100. 5 cents. Remember, don't work in cents and dollars at the same time. So if you realize that this 5 cents is actually 0.05. $0.05. Don't work in dollars and cents at the same time. All right. So for every dollar in the value, the mortgage is 5 cents. All right. So the value to the amount that is paid, which is the mortgage, is $1 to 5 cents. But 5 cents, I write it as dollars because I give me the answers in dollars. So it's times 0.05. And then now the value is actually 450,000. So we need to multiply everything by 450,000 because I want this side to become 450,000. So you're basically multiplying 450,000. That's what you're multiplying by 450,000. All right. And so this side becomes the 450,000 that you want it to be. And then over here now you're doing the 0.05 times the 450,000. Right. So what will happen is that these two zeros will move the decimal point here first, and it will become 5. And you're basically doing 5 times this, 5 times that. All right. So 5 times 4,005. You can actually estimate, 5 times 4,000 is 20,000, and then 5 times 50 is 2,500, right? So you can look at, let me break it down for you. All right, so we're doing 450,000 now times 0.05, right? So basically becomes 450, and these two zeros, as I said, move this decimal point to there. All right, so you get that times 5. And that's what you're multiplying now. So basically 5 times 4,000 is 20,000. And then 5 times 500, 5 times 25 is 2,500. 2,500. I add it up, you get 22,500. That's why this is the answer. 22,500. Right? They break down the calculation as easy as they can. Right, this one now. So Mary invested $200 for 5 years at 5% per annum. And John invested $500. Mute your mic, please. Mute your mic. All right. So Mary invested $200 at $5 for 5 years at 5%. And John invested $500 at the same rate, 5%, same rate, 5%. If they both receive the same amount of money as interest, how many years did John invest? So basically the interest earned by Mary is equal to the interest earned by John, right? Remember that the interest is PRT divided by 100, all right? So let's work with Mary first. So Mary's principal is 200 times the rate is 5 times the time is 5, right? And I divide that by 100. So that is the interest by Mary, and it is equal to the interest by John. Now John invested $500, so it's 500, same rate of 5%, but we don't know the time. Trying to find the time, divided by 100. So the matter of simplifying this now, right? It's gonna be 2, right? You can see that's gonna be 2 if we simplify. So this 100 cancels this 100. This 5 cancels this 5, right? And then what you can say now is that the 100 in this cancels the 100 on that side. If we divide both sides by 100, and then this 5 cancels this 5. And so you see that this T equals this 2 that is left here. So t equals 2. Everything else is cancelled away. All right, so that is 2. We have to multiply it up and you know, just keep it simple. All right, just cancel out the values and simplify it down. All right. Next question says, a salesperson sells a car for $11,000. He pays a commission of 4%. He pays a commission. If he is paid a commission of 4.5% for the first 10,000 and then 7.5 for the remainder, then what is his commission? All right, so he's paid a commission of 4.5% times the first 10,000 plus the remainder now is 1,000 because 10,000 gone already. So basically it's paid as commission of 7.5 over 100 times 1,000, the amount that is remaining. All right, so if you work this down simply, cancel down again, because in the exam you cancel the calculator, these 2 zeros cancel these 2 zeros, then one of this 0 move the decimal, or you can say 100 now, move the decimal point 2 places to the right. Right, so this value becomes 450. We're talking in dollars plus, and then this here again, same sort of thing. Cancel it down. These 2 zeros cancel 2 here, and then this 10, move this decimal place 1 place to the right. So now you're adding 75. So you're adding 75. So 450 plus 75 is clearly 525. We're working in dollars, so that's 575. All right, that's that. Number 19. Number 19 says a television set costs $350. When bought on hire purchase, a deposit of $35 is required, followed by 12 monthly payments of $30. How much is saved? So we have to work out the hire purchase price first, and this is the cash price. So we're going to work out hire purchase price and then subtract this cash price to know how much is saved. Hire purchase price will be higher than the cash price. So hire purchase price is equal to the $35 that he pays upfront plus 12 times the $30. He pays $30 12 times. 12 times 30. Well, 12 times 3 is 36. So 12 times 30 is 360. So it's 360. So it's 35 plus 360, which then is 395. So the cash price is 350. Then the amount saved, he saves 395 minus the cash price of 350, which clearly is $45. So he saves $45. All right, easy as that. All right, John bought a car for $65,000. The car depreciates at 20% in the first year and 10% in each of the following years. All right, the value of the car at the end of the second year is what? Now, you can do this question 2 ways. All right, you can do it 2 ways. What we can do is just calculate the depreciation in the first year, subtract it, and then calculate the depreciation in the second year and subtract again. All right, or we can say, okay, if the depreciation in the first year is 20%, then the new value is 80% of this. And then the second year, after we work out the 80% and know what 80% of that value is, then we can go to the second year and get 90% because you depreciate in the second year by 10%, then the new value is 90%. All right, and you will find 90%. But let's do it the way we think. I think most persons would do it. They would work out depreciation in the first year, right? So the first year value, 20%, the 20%, in a lot of space, minus 20 over 100, we're working out the depreciation. So it will be 20 over 100 times 64,000. Another way to do it, you know, can just, all right, let's look. 10% equals 6400. Right? Therefore, 20% equals 2 times this, right? Which is 128,000. So you're subtracting 128 from the original value. So that's 64. Let's work it here. 64,000 minus 12,800. So that is the value after the first year now. And you subtract them, right? Subtracting 20%. So that is 51,200. 51,200. That is the value after the first year. And then now, that's the value after the first year. This is year one. This is year one. All right? That's the value after you take off 20%. So the quick way to do 20% is to get 10% first, which is 6,400, and then you double that. So you get 12,800, and subtract the 12,800 from the 64. That tells you the value that is left. Then now we want to subtract 10% from this. All right? So 10% is just, you take off one of the zeros for 10%. All right? So let's write it down. 10% is now equal to 5,120. Right? So the new value, the second year value, the year two value, is going to be the 51,200 minus 5,120. 5,120. All right, and so that answer will be 46. 51 minus 5. All right, is 4680. Well, this will be 80. It's going to be 46080. So that answer will be this one. Will be balanced answer. I take off 20% first, get the new value. This is the new value. And then I take off 10%. This is 10%. So I subtract 10% more. And that's it. So you just have to work it through. All right. So that is the answer right there. All right. This question, we did this question earlier. And the answer was this, 13 over 15. Why? Let's look at why again, because this fraction, we multiply it by 3 over 3. And this fraction multiplied by 5 over 5. So two denominators become the same. And so it becomes 3 over 15x plus 10 over 15x. And then the 3 and the 10 give 13. 13 right here over 15x. All right. Simple as that. Next question. All right. So this question I was solving for x. All right, so to solve for x, we want to divide by 5 first. And we divide by 5. Let's write it. Divide by 5 first. We divide by 5. We're going to get 2x minus 1 equals 7. We're going to add the 1 and then divide the 2. Let's go step by step. So you're going to add the 1, you're going to get 2x equals 8. And then divide by 2, we're going to get x equals 4. So x equals 4, and you can test it. If this is 4, then it becomes 8 minus 1, which is 7, and 5 times 7 is 35. So you know it is correct. You can always do that little check. Am I recording? Am I recording? Yes,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good. This question, we did this question already as well. Multiply the 3 and the 2 and get 6, and when you multiply the indices, you add the power, so you get x to the 2 plus 3, which is 6x to the 5th power. So that is again 6x to the 6th to the 5th power. This one is a binary operation. So this one now, this question now is almost like a trial and error question. All right, you're gonna try and see which one of them satisfy these operations, like a trial and error. All right, this is actually the last one. Okay, if you look at it, it works for the 3 star 6 is 2 times the first value, which is 2 times 3, plus the second value, which is a 6, plus 6, and that equals 12. 12 there. And then for the second case, it will be 2 star 5, which again is 2 times the 2 plus 5, and that is 9. 9. So that is why this is the last one. If you try with the others, you won't get the values. Right? So let me give you an example of trying with the second one or the first one. If I try with the first one, I'm doing the 3 star 6. The first one. It will be 4 times, no, it is B minus A now. So the second value minus the first value. So the second value would be 6, see here, 6 minus the first value of 3. That will be 4 times 3, because it's inside we work out the 3. 4 times 3 is 12. All right, so this will be 12. But if you try it with the 2 star 5, it will be 4 times 5 minus 2. Now 5 minus 2 is 3, so this will give us 12 again. We don't want 12, we want 9 for the 2 star 5. So that's why that one wouldn't work. So if you try it with the rest of them, they'll be getting values that are not correct. Right? So that is why the first one is not correct. And if you try the others, that is what would happen. But the answer is the last one. The last one would work. All right. Next question. When 8 is subtracted from a certain number and the result is multiplied by 3, the answer is 21. So again, I want to set up a question. It's similar. When 8 is subtracted from a certain number, so a certain number subtract 8. 8 is subtracted from a certain number, and the result is multiplied by 3. The result is multiplied by 3. The answer is 21. That is what they said. I would then know we're trying to find x. So we divide by the 3 first. Or divide by 3, we get x minus 8. 21 divided by 3 is 7. And then we'll come out, add the 8. Add the 8. And so you get x equals 7 and 8 is 15. And so the answer is 15. And you can test the answer, right? You put the 15 here, so you get 15 minus 8 is 7, and 3 times 7 is 21. All right, so that is the answer right there. All right, next question. So this question gives us these values and asks us to evaluate this. All right, so let's put in the values. The x is negative 2. So it's negative 2 over the y is 3. And then the power is a square. Square. All right, so it's basically negative 2 over 3 times negative 2 over 3. The negative 2 times the negative 2 is positive 4, and the 3 times the 3 is 9. Right? I could have just squared the values right where they are. Square the negative 2 and get 4, square the 3 and get 9. In any case, the answer is 4 over 9. All right, 4 over 9. All right, so this question now. This question refers to these two diagrams. So what order is a matrix? Q. Remember, the order of a matrix is the number of rows, which is 3 rows, by the number of columns, which is 4 columns. 3 rows, 4 columns. Better understand that. The order of a matrix, or the size of the matrix, is rows by the columns. Rows down here. 1, 2, and put over the other side. Put over here. 1, 2, 3 rows. 3 rows. And then the columns now up here. 4 columns. 4 columns. 4 columns. So it's rows by column. Rows by column. 3 rows by 4 columns. That's how you state the size of a matrix. The number of rows by the number of columns. Then we want the determinant of P. Now remember, the determinant of P is the leading diagonal product minus the trailing diagonal product. The leading diagonal product minus the trailing diagonal product. All right, so it becomes 8 times 5 minus 7 times 6. 8 times 5, that's the leading diagonal, minus 7 times 6. That's the trailing diagonal. I guess that's main diagonal. I can say leading diagonal, first diagonal. Any word that means first is referring to this diagonal. Any word that means second is referring to this diagonal. All right. Any word that means primary or main, this. Secondary, this one. All right. And that's it. So basically then this is 40 minus 42, which therefore is negative 2. Negative 2. So that determinant there is negative 2. All right. Moving right along. So we'll come now to number 29. Number 29 says, number 29, if the vectors P and Q, oh, we did this question earlier. All right, did this question earlier, and answer was 5, negative 6. 5, negative 6. All right. Then we come to number 30. And when you reach a page like this, students have to be careful. Look at the numbers carefully. Okay, see, they're normally going down. They're normally going vertical with the numbering. Right? They're normally going down and then down with the numbering. But this one, they go across. And this mess up people sometimes because some students, I read this and then go straight and do this one down here because that's what it normally is. In this page, the 30 is actually over here. So you have to be careful, right? When you reach something like this, look at the numbering carefully. All right. So this is actually the next one, number 30. All right. So it's a vector parallelogram again. All right. And it says, what is ZR? All right. And I want to answer in terms of WX and WZ in all cases, WX and WZ. So we want to establish everything in terms of WX and WZ. So those are the primary directions, WX and WZ. So we have to realize then that this is one primary direction, right? WZ. This is WZ. So if that is WZ, then up here is also WZ. But because R is the midpoint, as I said, R is the midpoint, it means that this is half of WZ. That's WZ2 now. This vector up here is WZ2 because of parallelogram. And this also is half of WZ. Half of WZ. All right. And then now the other vector that they give it in reference is WX. So this double vector is WX. This is WX. So because this vector over here is parallel and equal, then this vector, even though ZY now, is WX as well. That is WX as well. Right? That also is WX. So that's what we have to establish. Because all answers are in terms of WX and WY. And then now the question wants us to find ZR. So it's a matter of looking at the diagram and see how we go from Z to R. So let's draw that in red. How we go from Z to R. The easiest way to go from this point to this point, going along the vector directions. So let me put in back the directions on this properly. This is this way. So WZ is positive this way, to the right. To the right. All right. So now we want to go from Z to R. So to go from Z to R, we go this way, which is a WX, and then go this way, which is the opposite direction to WY, only half the way. WZ, sorry, half of WZ in the opposite direction. So clearly, therefore, it is WX, right? It's WX. And then you're going in the opposite direction to WZ, half of WZ. So it's minus half of WZ. The minus is because you're going in the opposite direction to WZ. So it's WX minus half of WZ. And so that is the answer. So it's important to put on these vectors on the diagram first, right? By observing that the answers are in reference to WX and WZ all the way. So you wanted everything in terms of WX and WZ. And then you look at the diagram to go from Z to R, you go up to Y using the WX, and you go in the opposite direction to half of WZ. And once you go in the opposite direction in vectors, you're subtracting, right? So the answer for that one is this, A. All right. I think this is the only time I see this question. I don't remember seeing this question again. So a question like this, you tend to want to remember. All right. This question down, you know. It says, which of the following pair of statement is true about the perimeter of the rectangle and the square? Now, this perimeter is 48. Right? So the perimeter of square A is a square. So the perimeter of that square is 48. And the perimeter of this one, which is the rectangle, is 16 and 9 is 25. 25 times 2 is 50. So this perimeter is 50. We're talking in meters, everything in meters. All right, so one is 48 and one is 50. So we know the perimeter. So let's see what they say now. Perimeter A is equal to perimeter B. No, not true. Perimeter A is greater than perimeter B. Not true. Perimeter A is greater than or equal to perimeter B. No, not true. Not greater than or not equal either. Perimeter A is less than perimeter B. Yes. Perimeter A is less than perimeter B. So the answer is the last one. So all you have to do with this question is put on what the perimeter is, and then you see which statement is true. All right. So that last one is the answer for 31. Moving along. Number 32. 3,800 millimeters expressed in meters. Again, you divide by 1,000. So you move the decimal place, decimal point 3 places back to get meters, and so it's 3.8. And another question I think they gave 2.5. Right? It's the same concept, even though that question was 2.5. Simple as that. Okay, dividing by 1,000, right? You're dividing by 1,000. So you move the decimal point 3 places back to go from millimeters to meters. This next question says the distance around a circular pond is 88 meters. What is the radius? Now it's circular, so it's basically the circumference. The distance around a circle is circumference, which is 2 pi r. So they're telling basically that 2 pi r circumference is 88, and you're trying to find the r, the radius. So to find the r, you have to divide by the 2 pi, right? And so the r is 88 divided by 2 pi. Don't go canceling, because some person might want to cancel and put 44 over pi. All right, but that is not there. They left this in as the answer. That's why when you're doing a question, you have to keep an eye on the answers. And they will always give answers with pi in terms of pi, because you can't use a calculator, right? Otherwise, they'll tell you to use pi as 22/7. All right, so they don't, if you have a question with pi and they work and they give values in the answer, then the general speaking is 22/7 to take as a pi, even though that is just an estimate of the true value of pi. It is actually not equal to 22/pi, because pi is an irrational number in reality. All right. Anyway, next question. Next question gives us this diagram. It says it's a figure with a triangle resting on a square. So this thing on here is a square. So if it's a square, it means that this length is also 5. Because the triangle is 5, because that's a square. All right, and the question asks me for the total area. The area of the triangle at the top is half the base of 5 times the height of 4. Half base times height. All right, so it's half of 20, which is 10. All right, we know that we're working in centimeters square. Then the area of the square is 5 times 5, which is 25. So the total area is 10 plus 25, which is 35. All right, I will now working in centimeters square. So the answer is 35. down here, 35. All right, number 35. We did this one already. All right, it is volume of a cube of edge 3, 3 times 3 times 3 equals 27. So the answer for this one is 27. We did this one earlier. Also did this one, and this was the answer. We did it earlier. All right, so we're not going to do the question that we did already. We have to work them out again as the same explanation. So you can just watch the video if you don't remember. It says, on leaving Trinidad, time on a pilot's watch is 23 hours. That means 1 hour before midnight. 23 hours is 1 hour before the start of the next day. When he arrives at his destination in the same time zone, meaning there's no change in time, same time zone on the next day, his watch showed 3 hours. How many hours did he fly? He flew 4 hours, right? Because 1 hour between 23 and the 24 to start the next day, and then 3 more hours. All right, so if we were to set it out, 23, if we were to set it out, then to be 23 hours down to 24 hours is 1 hour that. And then from 24 start the new day, you go to 0, 3, 0, 0. All right, 0, 3 hours. All right, so that is 3 more hours. You add them, so that is 4 hours. So you prove for 4. This is pretty straightforward. They don't even need an explanation. All right, this one. That's a trapezium, and I want the area. Remember, the area of a trapezium is half the sum of the parallel sides multiplied by the distance between the parallel sides, right? Half the sum of the parallel sides and the distance between the parallel sides. So that area is half. Parallel sides are 8 and 18. And the distance between the parallel sides is this 5 right here. Times that by 5. Right? And basically, we want to work this out. This in here becomes 26. Half of 26 is 13. So it becomes 13 times 5. 13 times 5. Right? 13 times 5. So it's 5 times 10 and then 5 times 3. So 5 times 10 is 50 and 5 times 3 is 15. Yeah, 15 is 65.
Yes.
That's it. All right. Next question. On the next page. All right. So this question we did it earlier. And this, I think on the paper that we did, one question asked this part and the second paper asked this part. But this one is asking both parts now. All right. And what did we say? The modal age is the one corresponding to the highest bar, the most children, 7. So the answer is 7. And how many children took the survey? You have to add up the children in the survey. It was 3 right here, 4 right here, 2 children right here. Mute the mic, please. Mute the mic. 5 children here and 1 child there. And so you add them up. So it will be 3 plus 4 plus 2 plus 5 plus 1. I would say this was 9. That's 9 and 6. All right, 9 and 6. That's 15. So the answer is 15. So it's 15 persons in the survey. 15. All right, this question we did as well. Yeah, for the median. So it's 10 terms there. And so you divide the 5 and 5. 5 and 5 up to here. And 5 again up to there. So the median is right in between there, 6.5. 6.5. We did this question already. All right, this one now. This one says, when 3 coins are tossed simultaneously, the possible outcomes are, these are the possible outcomes. You can get 3 heads, 2 heads and a tail, a head, a tail, a head, a head, a tail, a tail, tail, a head, a head, a tail, a head, a tail, a tail, a tail, a head, a tail, a tail, a tail. Those are the possibilities, right? It says where H is the head and T is the tail. What's the probability of randomly obtaining at least 2 heads? At least 2 heads means 2 heads or more. So you want the ones that have 2 heads or more. How many possibilities are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in all. 8 possibilities in all. But you want the ones that will give you 2 or more heads. So what are they? Let me mark them in red. 2 or more heads. It says at least 2 means 2 or more, which should be 2 or 3, right? Because only 3 possibilities. So it's 2 or 3 heads. 2 or 3 heads you want. So this has 3, this has 2, this has 2, this has 2, and that's it. So it's 4 of them, 4 possibilities. All right, so probability is therefore 4 out of 8 possibilities, which is a half. All right, so the probability of getting at least 2 heads is a half. If they say the probability of getting 2 heads will be this, this, and this. So it will be 3 out of 8. If they say the probability of getting 2 heads, it will be 3 out of 8. But they said at least 2 heads means 2 or 3 heads. So that makes a difference. All right. So this is the answer. And plenty of persons going to put this as the answer. I know because I'm to 2 heads, but they didn't say 2 heads. They said at least. This means 2 or more. All right. This question, we did this question earlier. We said it was 4/5. Right? The amount that passed was 4/5. Because 1/5 failed, so 4/5 passed. So it was 4/5 of 600, we said, which basically worked out to 480. So we did this question earlier. All right, next one. Okay, this question now gives us this diagram. And it says refer to the cumulative frequency curve. It doesn't look like a cumulative frequency curve, but they said it is frequency polygon, cumulative frequency polygon. And the length in meters of 20 fish that are caught by 2 fishermen, right? So these are the lengths. These are the number of fish. The ones, the shortest length fish are the ones down here, and the longest length fish are the one up here, right, of those lengths up here, right? That's how it goes. Shortest ones at the bottom, largest ones at the top. It says, what is the interquartile range? Remember, the interquartile range, as we said, is Q3 minus Q1. That's what the interquartile range is. All right, now it's 20 fish. So the position of Q3 is 3/4 of 20, because 20, 20 fish. So the position of the upper quartile equals 3/4 of 20. 3/4 of 20, which is 15. So the 15th fish will have the upper quartile measurement. And then the position of the first quartile is 1/4 of the total number of fish, which is 20. And that works out to 5. So the 5th fish has the first quartile length. So right here, 15 is the position, not Q3 itself, just the position of it. So to find the Q3, you come across on the graph here, and you read it down here. All right, let's zoom it up. So this is a Q3 measurement, which based on this, look at the scale properly, every line is 1, every small line is 1. No, 0.1, every small line is 0.1 meter. All right, every small line is 0.1 meter. All right, so this is 3.567, call it 3.7 meters. 3.7 meters. And then the Q1 now, as we say, is 5. Position of Q1 is the 5th fish measures the Q1 measurement. So the position of Q1 is the 5th fish. You come across on the graph and you read it down here. And that looks like 1.2. This is Q1. It's 1.2 meters. All right, so if we're doing Q3 minus Q1, then is 3.7 minus 1.2. 3.7 minus 1.2 is clearly 2.5. So the interquartile range is 2.5. All right, that's that. Moving on to the next question. All right, let's talk about this one a bit, so persons can understand this one. All right, it says which of the following is a function? All right, which of the following mapping diagram is a function? Now, a mapping diagram represents a function, and to know which one is a function, you have to look at the domain. You have to say the domain is what tells you if it's a function or not. What is happening in the domain? You don't care about what's happening in the range. When you do maths at a higher level, then the range now will tell you what kind of function you have. All right? But for now, this is the domain and this is the range. Why? Or the codomain. It's a domain and codomain, not even range, but codomain. Because the range are the values that you actually get mapped on. But all of these get mapped on. So we can actually use range, right? So all right, so let's go. So this is the range. What happens now? I know that this is the domain because the arrows are going this way. If the arrows were going this way, which happens in other questions, then over here would be the domain and over here would be the range. Remember, you map from the domain to the range. So it is because the arrows are pointing in this direction. That is why I know that this is the domain. Okay? Now I know that that is domain. My focus to determine what is a function is on these. I don't care about these. I don't care what is happening over there. The domain is what tells you if you have a function or not. So I have to study the domain. Now the rule says for a mapping to be a function, for a relation to be a function, each element in the domain must map. And when they map, they have to map one time. That this fancy statement where they say each element domain map one and only one time and all this. In simple terms, every single element in the domain must map, must have a mapping. And it must only have one mapping, one arrow coming off it. Simple as that. Anything that violates that is not a function. All right, so let's look at them now. So this one causes this not to be a function. Why? Because it has two arrows coming off it. Also, this causes A not to be a function because that element don't have any mapping. Every single element in the domain must map. Can't have any free element in the domain. And when they map, they have to map one time. Meaning only one arrow must come off them for it to be a function. So those two that I've circled, right, are the ones causing this first one not to be a function. A is not a function. Now we look at B. This one has two elements coming off it in the domain. Remember, I don't care what happens over here. Over here is irrelevant to whether it's a function or not. It is the domain that tells you if it's a function or not. And then here now, this has two elements coming off it. So that is why this one is not a function, because each element must have one element, one arrow coming off it. Each element must map one time. This is actually a one-to-many relation. One-to-many are not functions, so that is not a function. This third one now has three reasons why that's a function. This element don't map. This element map three times, so it's not a function, and this element don't map. So all those three elements now causing that C not to be a function, right? If you look at the last one is a function, right? Because this element it map only one time, this element it map only one time, and this element it map only one time, right? That is why this one is a function. Now watch me now. Even if this had a free element in it, then it would matter. It would still be a function. All right? It don't matter what is happening over in the domain, in the range, sorry. It don't matter what is happening over in the codomain. It is what happens in the domain that tells you if it's a function or not. And even if this one, instead of mapping up here, it was mapping here, and this one was free, it would still be a function once this wasn't there, if this one wasn't there, right? Because then each element would map one time. So remember, don't use the range to decide it's a function, use the domain. So this one is a function because each element map, and when they map, they only map one time. One arrow coming off each element in the domain. All right, so that is that. Next question. We did discuss that earlier. I said that this was on the y-axis, so the C equals 5. This is the gradient, so the M equals 4. and the line is y equals mx plus c. So y equals the m is 4 and the c is 5. So see it here. This is the answer for this one. All right, that's what we said. We did this question earlier. 47. 47 is asking us for this one now. Which one is this? Now, look, if you notice, the circle on here is unshaded. That's where it starts. That's a critical point. It is unshaded, and the arrow is pointing to the left. So it means that x values are less than 1. And you don't put the equal on it because the circle is unshaded. So you don't put that equal on it because you have an unshaded circle here. Unshaded circle, right? That's an unshaded circle right there. If this was shaded like that, then you have to put the equal on it. And that would mean that the 1 is also included if it was shaded. But it is unshaded, and so it's less than. So x is less than 1. So this answer is A. All right. And so because it's unshaded, it means that the x is not equal to 1. 1 is not included. So x is just less than 1. All right. This next question is asking us for the gradient. So to get the gradient, we just need to see the rise over the run. So we'll check the scale first. Right, you're going up by 1 between the grid, and here you're going up by 1 in the grid as well. So check that first. And then all you need to do, this line have a positive gradient because from left to right, it's sloping up. So we have a positive gradient. So you can't put a negative gradient for that, you know. Going from left to right, the line is sloping up. So all you have to do is count the rise, which is 2, over the run, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So the rise is 2 and the run is 4 from that point to that point. So see there, the gradient is rise over the run. All right, and the run is a positive 2 because I go up. It's a positive 2 because it got up, and the run is a positive 4 because it got to the right. So it's positive 2 and positive 4. So it's positive 2 over positive 4, which therefore is half. So the gradient is a half. Simple as that. All right, from one point to the next. Simple as that. I could have used right here too, you know. Look, could have just gone right here instead and say rise 1 to here. Let's look at it. Could have gone right here and say rise 1, run 2. From here to here, so the same line. Rise 1, run 2. So it's 1 over 2. Could have used this point and this point. Any 2 points on the line you can use. Going to still be 1 over 2. All right, in fact, let me leave that in there. Let me leave it in there. So you could have used that as well. Rise 1, run 2. All right. So next question. Number 49. Number 49, we did this question earlier. And answer was 17 because it will be 2 times 3 squared minus 1. It will be 2 times 9 minus 1 to be 18 minus 1, which is 17. This one again, it asks for the maximum point, which is this point right here, 2, 4. That answer is this. And that's the only part. It says, what is the gradient? To get the gradient, you have to put it in the form y equals mx plus c. If you have y alone as a subject. This has 2y right now. So you have to divide by the 2. So to get to this, you have to divide through by 2 to leave y alone as a subject. And so it becomes y equals minus 3 over 2x minus 8 over 2, which is 4. You divide each value by the 2. And so this value right here now is a gradient m. That is a m. If you want the y-axis to intersect the c, it will be negative 4. Negative 4. But the gradient is negative 3 over 2, which is this. All right. Simple as that. Moving up to the next one. Number 52. Number 52 says, which of the following best describes the function? So basically, how do we go from this value to this value? How do we go from this value to this value? Right? And obvious, looking at it, you add 3. You add 3 to this, add 3 to this again, add 3 to this, and add 3 to this. So therefore, the y equal the x value plus 3. That's what happens. The x value plus 3 give you the y value. Right? So the function is x plus 3. See there? Y value equals x plus 3. Alright, it's straightforward. I keep adding 3. Alright, next one says if the exterior angles of a regular polygon is 60, then the polygon is what? Now, what you have to remember about a polygon is the total exterior angle is always 360 degrees. Alright, always 360 degrees. That's what you have to remember. Total exterior angle of a polygon is always 360 degrees. Right? And to know which one of these it is, you have to know how many sides it has. Right? If it has 4 sides, it's this. If it has 5 sides, it is this. 6 sides, it is this. 3 sides, it is this. So because I don't know the number of sides, and the fact that it is regular, the fact that it is a regular polygon, regular means that all the angles equal 60. All of them equal, and all the sides are equal. All the angles are equal if it's regular. Regular means all angles equal, all sides equal. That's what regular means in polygons. So if we call the number of sides n, it means that 60 degrees is the angle for one of them times the number of exterior angles will be n, which we're trying to find, and that equals 360. Because all of them equal, you know, each of them equals 60. I was saying that is n. Right, so clearly you divide by the 60, so the n equals 6. Right, so the number of sides is 6. N represents the number of sides. So the number of sides is 6, then you know you have an hexagon right there. All right, so this question was based on our knowledge that the total exterior angle will always be 360, and also that the word regular means all of the angles are equal. Right? So we'll call the number of sides n, or the number of sides and the number of angles equal. So we'll call the number of angles n, and the number of sides also will be n. I will calculate n. N is 6, so it has 6 sides. All right, so that is that. Number 54. This is our x equals y again, because it's the parallel lines, alternate angles. So explain that already. This one is another question again. The last question they gave us these lines as equal, so it was isosceles. In any case, the angle here is 120 because these two add up to 60, and the total angle is 360, so that angle is 120 degrees. That's a question we did already. A little bit different, but it's the same question really. All right, that is 55. Moving on to number 56. It says the image of that point P under the translation 3, 4 is what? So 3, 4, this translation is going to move these points. All right. So what that means that the P plus the translation is going to give you the image point that we're trying to find. So the -2, 3 plus the 3, 4 is going to give us the image point P prime, which you can work it out. So it's -2 plus 3, same as 3 minus 2 is 1. I'm done in the whole answer with an x value of 1, you know, see there? That must be the answer. And then the 3 plus 4 is 7. So in the exam, I will bother work out the 7. Must be that. So that's it, the vector for the point. So it must is 1, 7. That's it. All right, 1, 7. Next question says, refers to this diagram, 2 straight lines, and it says, in the diagram above, the line CD is the image of AB. So this is the image of this. under which one of the transformation here. So they have 90-degree rotation about O. They have reflection on the y, yeah, the reflection on the y-axis because this distance to this, that's the mirror line, and this distance is the same as this distance. Right, so basically it's a reflection on the y-axis. All right, so reflection on the y-axis is the answer. All right, simple that. Y-axis is a mirror line. Image distance equals object distance. This question, let me see. It says, if the area of triangle ABC is 20, this is the area of the object. What is the area of this one? I mean, so you have to treat this like an enlargement, right? So this is very important now. Pay attention now. So this is like an enlargement question. So like a change, there's a reduction in the size, right? So it's like you're going from this one to this one, and that tells you that the scale factor K is a half, right? So using a scale factor of half, I go from this triangle to this triangle, all right? So I'm gonna call this one the image triangle. I'm gonna call this one the object triangle, and telling us that the area of the object triangle, they're telling us, right? So we're gonna call this the object triangle. Let's put it out here. So they're telling us that the area of the object triangle, we're gonna call it OAO, is 20 centimeters squared. Now the relationship between an object and its image, right, in terms of area after an enlargement, is that the area of the image is K squared times the area of the object. That's the relationship between an object, the areas of two objects under an enlargement of scale factor K. If it's the length of the side we're talking about, then the length on the image is just equal to K alone times the length on an object, corresponding length. But when it comes to area, it is a K squared relationship. All right. I'm not going to go into why right now because I would have to be teaching it. I'm not going into that right now. Right? It's for my students, it's something that we have done multiple times. So the area of the image is K squared times the area of the object. We're treating this, as we said, as the object and the small one as the image. All right, and they're asking us for the area of M and O. So basically, it would be 1/2 squared times the area of the object is 20 times 20. This is the area of the object, is 20. Right? And 1/2 is a quarter times 20. Quarter of 20 is 5. So the area of the object there is 5. Another way we could have done it, because a right angle triangle, right? We could have calculated the height of this side by saying, call the height of this side, and then we know that the size is more work. The size will be reduced by half. But we could have calculated the height of this triangle by saying half 6 times h equals 20. Right? This is 3 times 8 equals 20. So the h equals 20/3. So this h is 20/3. Then the height on this side will be half, because if this cut by half, then the height also will be cut by half. So this height will be half of 20/3, which will be 10/3. And then the area of that triangle now will be half the base of 3 times the height of 10/3. That's another way we could work it out. And then this 3 would cancel this 3, and then half of the 10 would be 5. Right? And so you will get the 5 just that way as well. And you want to do it to get the 5. So this is just another way we could have done it down here. Alright, I prefer the enlargement method because it's quicker. Area of image is K squared times area of object. Alright, we could have calculated the height, half the height, because the sides are reduced by half, and then calculate the area of the new triangle. Alright, that's how we could have done it. Alright, so that is that 58. Then we'll come to 59 over here. Well, we did this question already. Also, the scale factor is 2. Alright, so we did that one. Explain it. Also did this one already, where we said that this distance over here was 10 and 30. Right? Read it and make sure the same thing you're asking for, right? But I know it's the same thing. So we also did that question before. So I'm not gonna bother to explain it again. Let's move down to the next paper right away. All right, let's go. All right, so this is a question paper we did already. Question we did already, and the answer was 20. So any question we do already, we're just gonna mark them. So we did this one already. It's 20. And this one now says what the value of 6 divided by that. So we want to convert this into a fraction. All right, so it is 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, 4. So it is basically the same as 6 divided by 3 over 1 with 4 zeros. Because you need 4 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4 to bring the 3 there. Right? So that's it. Because divide by these 4 zeros, you'd have gone 1, 2, 3, 4. And get back that. So converting into a fraction like that. And then now, when you divide by a fraction, you invert and multiply, it becomes 6 times 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros over 3. All right, and then what happens is that the 3 into this is 1, 3 into this is 2. So it's basically 2 and 4 zeros. So multiply by 2. So 2 and 4 zeros is this one. C. All right, simple as that. This next question says, if 6 times 10 to the minus n is equal to 0.06, n is greater than 2, then what is n? So this is a matter of converting this into scientific form, standard form, right? That is standard form. So all we have to do is convert this to standard form, and we can see what the n is, all right? So how do we convert this to standard form? We want the decimal point to come here. So although we're gonna say the 0.06. We're gonna move the decimal point by multiplying it by 10 squared. And then to cancel the 10 squared multiply by, we're gonna multiply by 10 to the minus 2. And this part of the calculation will move the decimal point for us. I'm basically trying to adjust this value into standard form, right? And so it becomes 6. This works out to 6 times 10 to the minus 2. And if we compare this 6 times 10 to the minus 2 with 6 times 10 to the minus n that they have up here, means that the n is 2. So the n is 2. Simple as that. The n is 2. So n equals 2 if we compare. All right. Next question. So Paula bought 1 7/8 material, 1 7/8. So you need 1/8 more to make 2 of fabric to make a shirt. While Rita bought 1 3/4 to make a skirt. How much more fabric did Paula buy? So what you want to do is make these two in with the same denominator. So because the two of them buy 1 each, then it's really the 7/8 and the 3/4 we're comparing. All right, but what we have to realize is that we're comparing 7/8 and 3/4. We have to realize the 3/4 and make the two fractions related. It's the same as 6/8. 3/4 is 6/8, you know. So you're really comparing 3/4, 6/8 and 7/8. So the difference is 1/8. The difference is 1/8. So we can buy 1/8 more. 1/8 more. So the answer is A. 1/8 more. Let's make the two fractions related by converting the 3/4 to 1/8. All right, so it's 1/8 more. So that is it. 7/8 versus 6/8 is 1/8. All right, so moving along. All right, this one now. The value of this approximately what? Now, remember, I know, in an exam, right? You have to realize that this is approximately 30. This is almost 30, and this is a half, right? 0.5 is a half. Half of 30 is 15. So this must be approximately 15, right? None of the other values make sense. None of the other values make sense. It's approximately 15. Because 29.94 is approximately 30. Remember, is approximation we're doing. So approximate this value to the nearest whole number, which is 30. All right, so that is it. All right, nice and easy. Next question. Oh, this is a question I did already. It said there are 40 students and all of this stuff. And the 25, I did this question already, the answer was 6. I'm not going to work it over again. It was 60 over 100 times 25 over 100 times 40. 25% of the 40, and then 60%. Oh, 60% of the 40. 60% of the 40. And then 25% of that. Same difference, but the answer is 6. Did it already. This one is the same as 3 times 7 and 3 times 5. 3 times 7 and 3 times 5 is like 3 times 7 and 3 times 5. So you factorize the 3, you get 3 into 7 plus 5, which is 3 times 12. Right? So 3 times 7 plus 5 is this one. So this character factorize the 3. All right. Next one is, what is the highest common factor? Highest common factor. So we usually do, you basically write down the factors from the largest value down. So you start with the 90, do the biggest one first. Right, and keep an eye on the answers, right? So clearly this can be it. Right, now 3 is you can actually use elimination, 3 is a factor of all of them, 5 is a factor of all of them, and 15 is a factor of all. Based on the answers, it can't be the 90 because 90 is not a factor of 30, right? But these are all factors of the 12, and this is the largest of those 3, so that must be the answer, right? So sometimes you can just use the answers to tell you. All right, let me mark them again. That's a factor, that's a factor, that's a factor. This is not a factor of all 3. So the highest one is this out of the 3 that are listed there. So that must be the answer. All right, so I don't have to waste time. All right, next one. Least number of plums that can be shared equally between 6, 9, and 12 is the lowest common multiple. The lowest common multiple, the first multiple of the 3 of them, of the 6, the 9, and the 12. Lowest common multiple. Do the largest one first. We're doing the multiples. The lowest common multiple. So the multiple of this will be 12, then 24, then 36. And we know that this one will be 9, and then 18, and then 27, and then 36. So reach 36 already. And then this one also going to work its way all the way up to 36. 36. So the lowest common multiple, the lowest one is 36. So we know that this one go up to 6 as well. And if you start with the largest values first, so do this one first. Right, list the multiples of this one first, the largest one first. You do this one second, and then this one here the third. List the multiples, right, until you keep your eye on the values, and you see when you reach it. So in the case, answer is this. All right. Lowest common multiplier 1. Lowest common multiple. Next one. If 3n is an odd number, which of the following is even? Now remember, a number that comes before or after an odd number is even. So if 3n is an odd number, the other one plus 1 or minus 1 to get that even number. So the answer is this one. This must be an even number. Okay, subtract 1 from an odd number, you must get an even number. All right, and that is that. Number 11 on the next page. All right, so if A is that, the number of subsets is 3 values there again. So it's basically 2 cubed, which is 8, as n number of elements in A is 3. The number of subsets is 2 to the n, which is 2 cubed, which is 8. So that says 8. So you see, they ask this question all different ways all the time. All right, so that is it. This one, we did this one already again. We said this was A only, outside of B and inside of A. A only, this is A only. All right, so we did that one question already. Next one. If a universal set is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and H is 3, 4, 6, H complement. H complement is what is not in H. What is not in H. So let's list the elements that are in H first. All right. So the elements in H, 3, 4, 6. See there? 3, 4, 6 is H. So H complement. Let's put H complement in purple. H complement will be 1, 2, and 5. So this will be 1, 2, 5. That will be everything that is outside of H. 1, 2, 5. This outside of H. All right. Moving along, number, we did this already. Answer was 8, right? Do not play. How many students do not play volleyball? Yeah, same question. And answer was 8. Right? Do not play. This don't play and this don't play volleyball. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 is the answer. All right, this one now. It says the simple interest on $600 for 4 years, 5% is, we're using the formula I equals PRT divided by 100. So it is a principal of $600 times a rate of 5%. So it's 5 over the 100. So you get the 5% and the time of 4 years. So 600 times 5 times 4 over 100. That's the first one right there. That's that. All right, moving along. This one, 3.25%. 3 1/4 is 3.25. So you want to do a question like this, is just write it as 3.25 over 100 times 500. All right, something like that. And then these cancel these, and so it's 3.25 times 5. So really then is 3 times 5 and then the 0.25 times 5. So you can set up like that. 3 times the 5 and then 0.25 times 5. Right? And 3 times the 5 is 15 and the 0.25 times the 5 is 125, but it's 1.25. And so that is 16.25, which is this one. All right. Next question. Mrs. Jones has $200 to change to TT. He said bank gives her $6.20 for $1 and charge TT $2.50 for the transaction. So she have to pay $2.50 for the transaction. All right. The question is, Mrs. Jones has $200 to change to TT dollars. The bank gives her $6.20 for $1 and charge $2.50, sorry, for the transaction. Mrs. Jones received. How much she received? She have to subtract the $2.50. So first thing, she's gonna change. How much exchange is? She's gonna exchange 200 times the $6.25. 200 US at $6.25 for 1. Right? So it's 200 times 6.25. $6.20. I say 6.25. 620. right? So basically, the 100, move the decimal point 2 places there, and now times it by 2, so it becomes 2 times 620. And then 2 times 620 is really now 1240. 2 times 620 is 1240. So that is basically what she gets from the money. But then she have to pay $2.50. So the amount that she gets, the amount that she receives is the 1240 minus, better. The amount that she gets is 1240 and the $2.50 that she has to pay. $2.50 minus $2.50. All right, so she giving away $2.50. So from the 40 years, so she give away $2.50. Right, so it's she give a $2 first. It is 1238 minus 0.5, and then she give 50 cents more. So it's 1237.50. Remember, you can't use a calculator, so you have to work it down. 1237.50. The answer is A. Over what understands. Right? She exchange the money first, and then out of the money that she get, 1240, she has to pay $2.50. All right, so it's 1237. All right, I think we did this question earlier. $160, $160, $160 plus the overtime of 6.5 times $5. That's what we did. The 160 basic pay plus the overtime pay comes to 192.50. We did this question earlier, so let's move on. All right, I think we did this question as well. All right, it's $60 plus the 10%. 10% of $60. No, 18%. 18%. 18 over 100 times the $60. All right, and that's what we did earlier. We worked it out earlier, and it came to $70.80. So I'm not gonna work it out again. We did already. All right, so let's move in through. A store offers a discount of 10% on customer who spend. I did this one already as well. And answer was 72. All right, I did it already, so you can look back. Also did this one, did we? It says a salesman sells a car for $10,500. If he's paid a commission of 5% for the first 10,000 and 8% for the remaining, what is his commission? Okay, this one kind of different. So he's paid 5%. So he's firstly paid 5 over 100 for the first 10,000, working in dollars, so we can write $10,000 plus the remainder is going to be 500, and he's paid 8% for that. 8 over 100 times $500. That's what we're working out. All right, so this part comes to 500. All right, if we cancel the zeros, then it's 5 times 100 is 500. And then plus, cancel these, 8 times 5 is 40. So it's 500 plus 40. So it's a total of $540. That's it, $540 is commission. All right. This one, we did this one earlier. The answer was this. We're not gonna go through it again. Explain that one in the previous thing. All right, this one, I didn't do this one before. So this one is grouping the like terms. I'm gonna expand up this first and be careful with this negative. All right, so basically this becomes 15p plus 55q, and then you get minus 6p and minus 8q. Minus 6p and minus 8q. Right? So the 15 minus 6 is 9p. So we get 9p, and then 55 minus 8. 55 minus 8 is 47. 47. So you get 47q. So 9P47Q, the A is answer. 9P47Q, answer is A. So just expanding and doing the like term. We did this one already as well. This minus minus makes is a plus, so it becomes 2Q minus 3Q. So that's minus Q's answer. Did that one earlier. All right, moving along. This one, 2 to the 6 divided by 2 squared. When you divide in the series, you subtract the power, so it becomes 2 to the 6 minus 2, which is 2 to the 4th power. So the answer is this one, 2 to the 4th power. When you divide in the series, you subtract the powers. All right, with this one as well, already multiply up the 5, and so the P becomes 20 times 5. So this is the answer. And then this one, it says when 7 is added to 3 times a certain number, and the result is 22. Statement above represented by which equation? So 3 is added when 7 is added to 3 times a number. When 7 is added to 3 times a number, see here, 7 is added to 3 times a number, the result is 22. 7 is added to 3 times a number, the result is 22. So this is the answer right here. That is the answer. All right, that represents the statement. All right, this question now. Let's explain this one. Questions always asking about this one. 30 men can paint a shopping mall in 25 days. How many days will it take 15 men to paint the mall? Now, this is what we call an inverse variation, because the more men you have, the less time it will take. And the less men you have, the more time it will take. So it's an inverse variation. So we can set up a little inverse variation that says the number of men is equal to a constant divided by the time, because it's an inverse variation. The more time you will take for this first less men. More time needs less men, and vice versa. So what it means, therefore, is that the number of men times the time will always equal to a constant. When you have an inverse variation, the product of the variables is always a constant. So if you can know that, then you're good. When you have an inverse variation, the product of the variables will equal a constant. When you have a direct variation, the quotient of the variables will be constant. All right. So because the product of the men and the time will always be constant, then we can set it up and say, okay, the 35 times the 25 days will be equal to the 15 men times the time they will take. That's it. So to find the time, we'll just divide by the 15 over here, right? So the time will be equal to the 35 times the 25 days over the 15 men, and that will tell us how long it will take. And I will simplify this down, and you're going to get 60. Simplify it down. Everything here can be divided 2 by 5. All right, you're going to get 60. We divide it out. All right, let's see. So we can go, everything is cancelled out. So we can go 5 into this goes 3 times. We can do it another way, you know. Easiest, all right. 5 into this is 3 times. 5 into this is 5 times. Right, and we have 5 times 35. All right, 5 times 35 is 5 times 30 is 150. Plus 5 times 5 is 25. Hold on, there's another way to express it. Hold on, guys.
Shouldn't it be 36?
36, yeah, well, just realize it's 36. So somewhere around. Let's wonder why I'm not getting the values there. It's actually 36, not 35. 36. So this is 36. All right. So now it will work right down and give us 60. All right, so t equals 60. We cancel it down and get the t equals 60. All right, so it's 36 men, 25 days equal 15 men by t. You're gonna get 60. Cancel it down. All right, so we're gonna get 5 into this is 3, 5 into that is 5, 3 into that is 1, and 3 into that is 12, and then 12 times 5 is 60. All right, so this one and bottom is 36, not 35. Everybody understands that. It's an inverse variation because the more men you have, the less time it will take, and vice versa. All right, so it sets it up like an inverse variation. We have an inverse variation, the product of the variables is a constant. So the 36 times 25 will be equal to the 15 times the time that the 15 men will take. And that is 60. All right, that's that. We discussed already. It was 2 and 3/4. Can't remember that. We did it earlier. All right, this one now, the trapezium again. And I want us to give an expression for the area. Remember, the area is half the sum of the parallel sides times the distance between the parallel sides. All right, these are the two parallel sides, and this is the distance between the parallel sides, h. All right, so let's set it up. The area is half the sum of the parallel sides. The sum parallel sides are 2 and x minus 4. That's the sum of the parallel sides. The distance between them is h. All right, so we get half, and this 2 minus this 4 is negative 2. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. This x has nothing to subtract with, so it becomes x. 2 minus 4, as I said, is negative 2 times the h. I can apply this h times this, the half times the h, which then is h over 2. So you have h over 2 times x minus 2. That's why the answer is this, right? But the area, I said, is x squared. So the area is this. So this is the answer. Half the sum of the parallel sides times the distance between the parallel sides. All right, number 31. Number 31. We did this question earlier. I worked it out and the answer was 8. So we're not going to work it out again. This one now. This one says, in the circle above center O, the area is 20. The area of the circle is 20. And asking us now for the area of the sector. Remember, the area is a fraction of the area of the circle. This is the area of the circle, right? So the area of the sector is theta over 360 times the area of the circle. That is the area of the sector now. Area of the sector equals that times the area of the circle. So that is 60 over 360 times 20. The area of the circle is 20. So the answer for that one is A. They don't want to record the value, they left it like a formula. So that's it. A. All right, 33. This question, we did this question already. We want to convert millimeters, you divide by 1,000, the decimal point goes there. So it's a 2.5 meters. All right, these are questions earlier. This one now, object with uniform cross section. It's a cylinder. So the volume, and asks us for the volume, right? The volume is the area of the end, which is a circular end. If a circle is pi r squared times the height, the distance between the two ends is h, pi r squared h. Now, if the diameter is 6, then the radius is 3. So based on that, r is 3 centimeters because the diameter is 6. So this volume becomes pi times 3 squared times the height is 20. The height is 20. All right, so the volume becomes pi times 9 times 20. 9 times 20 is 180. So V equals pi times 180. 180 pi. See it here? That is the pi is the answer, as I said, because pi, you're not supposed to, you can't use a calculator. All right, this question, we did this question earlier. This is around a circular pond, right? But to change it, we gotta put this answer now, 44 over pi. Why? Because the distance around a circle is 2 pi r, and it tells us that is 88. Now, the previous one that we did now, trying to find r. So the r would be 88 divided by 2 pi. One that we did before left that as the answer. But now, what they do, divide numerator and denominator by 2. And so it becomes 44 over pi. So it's the same question, but I give you a different answer. So it's now 44 over pi instead of 88 over 2 pi. All right, so that's one of the SWOT answers of what you're doing. This one, I think we did this one already. Yes, we did this one already as well. Also, the time was 3.5 hours. The 30 minutes is half an hour. And we multiplied, right? We multiplied, and the speed is 550 kilometers per hour. You want the distance, you multiply them. So the distance equals the speed times the time, which is 550 times 3.5. I worked it out. And the answer was 1925. So let's not waste time on it again. Right, moving along. Also did this question, so I'm not gonna waste time on it. Did it already. Right, and the answer for this one was 8. I would say this was a x squared. Here was x squared. Volume is the end area times the height. Where the end area is x squared times the height, the volume. So x squared equals the volume over the height. So the volume was 320 over the height of 5 equals x squared. So x squared became 64, and so x is equal to 8. Square root of 64. All right, that's what we did. Next one, this one already as well. All right, and the answer for this one was 12, because the 12 squared is 144, and the 9 times 16 is also 144. So the length of that square is 12. We did this. Also, we did this one, and this was the answer, I remember. All right, so let's just move through the ones that we did before, so don't waste time. We did this one already as well, and the answer was 6.5. Did that one already. This one, we did this one already as well. We said the mode corresponds to the highest frequency. This is the highest frequency, and so the score for the highest frequency is 8. So the answer for that one is 8. Remember, these are the frequencies and these are the scores. So the answer, the mode is 8 because it corresponds to the highest frequency of 12. All right. And this one now, didn't do this one as it. It says height in centimeters of 10 students are those figures there. What is the range? The range is the largest value minus the smallest value. The largest value is 170 and the smallest value is 150. So the range is the 170 minus the 150, which is 20. Largest observation minus smallest observation. When the data is raw data, it's raw state. If it's group data or ungroup data frequency distribution, then it's different. It becomes the largest upper boundary minus the smallest lower boundary. The range that time is the largest upper boundary minus smallest lower boundary. But anyway, I've never seen them set that. This question, do this question already as well. How many students took part in the survey? We add them up and the answer was 15. We did this question twice. 600 students took part in a test. One fifth failed, so 4/5 pass, so it becomes 450 times 600, and that was 480. I think the last time the answer was B. It is C, because that's 450. All right, this question, all right, we don't do this question yet. It says, first to the pie chart, show the drinks preferred by a group of students. All right. It says, if 12 students prefer lemonade, so this is 12 students prefer lemonade, and 12 students will correspond to 60 degrees, because that's a straight line right here. Total along a straight line is 180, so right here is 120, then the angle right here is 60 degrees, so the angle here is 60 degrees. And 60 degrees corresponds to 12 students. It's asking us for the total, so we can do it at a ratio, because 360 degrees will be the total. So 60 degrees to 12 students. So the total will correspond to 360 degrees. So to get 360 degrees, you just multiply by 6. You multiply by 6. The total angle will represent everybody now, which is 360. 360 degrees is now 72 students. So it means that there are 72 students in all in the survey. Simple as that. Because if 60 degrees is 12, you want to know what 360 degrees is. You multiply by 6. All right? Simple as that. All right? This one again is a many to one, because you have many mapping to one. All right, so we did that one, and the answer is many to one. This time it is C. I think the last time it was at B, but it's many to one is the answer. And then down here, next one, you find out we go looking fast as we go, because the questions repeating. This one again, the fact that there is no equal on the 2, you're gonna have an unshaded circle there, and the equal on here means that you're gonna have a shaded circle on the 4. You want to region between them, so unshaded on the 2 and a shaded on the 4. So this guy, that's it right there. Easy as that. This question again is repeated. So this question is repeated. Ask for the maximum point again is right here. 2, 4. 2, 4. The last time it was D. But the point is 2, 4. Intersection of the line y equals 0. I think last time I said x. No, they said y equals 0. Y equals 0 is just x-axis, as I said. So we're talking about this point where x is 4 and this point where x is 0. Right? So it is 0 and 4. So the answer is A. Right, those points. The x-axis is y equals 0. The next question up here is asking us which one of these is a relation, right? So we can use a process of elimination. Clearly not this, because 0 plus 2 is not equal to 1, right? So it's clearly not this. Right? 0 plus 2 is not equal to 1. And then the next one is asking if it's x plus 1. So 0 plus 1 is 1, so that would work. 1 plus 1 is 2, but 2 plus 1 is 3. This is 4, so that don't work either. This don't work. Right? If you add in 1, don't work. Let's try the third one, which is 2 to the x. So it should be 2 to the 0, which is 1. And the number raised to the power 0 is 1. Then 2 to the 1. Remember, it's 2 to the x value, 2 to the x. We're doing now, 2 to the x. So 2 to the 1 is 2, so that is correct. Then 2 squared, 2 to the squared is 4, which is correct. And then 2 cubed is 8. Is 8. So the answer is this one. That is correct. This one couldn't work because 2 times 3 is 6, not 8. So this one couldn't work either. So question like this, you just use elimination and do it. All right, so the answer to that one is C. C is the one that works, 2 to the x. All right, x maps on 2 to the x. All right, x maps on to 2 to the power x. All right, next one. I think we did this one already as well. All right, so put in the value that them up on 2. So this is x squared plus 3, right? X squared plus 3. So let's see what that would work out to. So this one would work out to 3 because it would be 0 squared plus 3 is 3. And then the next one, the 1, would work out to 4. Just so we can see it. This one would give us 4 because it will be 1 squared plus 3, which is 4. And then the next one would be 2 squared. 2 squared plus 3. 2 squared is 4, 4 and 3 is 7. So this will take us to 7. And then next one will be 3 squared plus 3. This one will be 3 squared plus 3, which is 9 and 3 is 12. I think we did this question already now. Yeah, so looking for values 3, the output values must be 3, 4, 7, and 12. Yeah, we do this question already. I just remember now. So 3, 4, 7, 12. 3 is good, but this is not good. So that's wrong. But that should be 4. 3, 4, this is should be 7. This is 5. 3, 4, this should be 4. 3, 4. 3, 4, 7, 12. So this is the correct answer, D. Output values are 3, 4, 7, and 12. So that is correct. Did this question already as well. P equals Q because of the alternate angles. All right, so that is that. So we're only going to stop to explain the new questions now. This one we did already as well. We said the thing go across by 2 and up by 1. So it's 2, 1. Across by 2 and up by 1. So it's 2, 1 is a translation. All right, 2, 1. And then this one, we don't do this one yet. Question says, O is the center of the circle, then what is Y? Remember, those two angles are subtended by this arc. Angle at the center is twice angle at the circumference. Circle theory. Angle at the center is twice angle at the circumference. This becomes 2 times 50, which is 100. So the angle there is 100. So Y is 100. Angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference, subtended by the same arc or subtended by the same chord. If I put in a chord there. All right, so the angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference. So Y is 2 times 50. All right, next one. This one we did already as well. It got 8 kilometers due east. That is 8 kilometers to the east. And then it goes 6 kilometers north. So it got 8 this way and 6 up. Remember, in the coordinate system, you always spell V across here. North is up here. So when you're going due east, you're going towards the east. So 8 kilometers to the right and 6 up. So the answer is this one now. C. I've seen this same question already. And the answer is A, another time it is B, another time it is C. In the case, A to B is 8 to the right, and B to C is 6 up. All right. And let's change the direction in the question. This question says the transformation clearly, and it's PQR into P prime, Q prime, R prime, and which one of them it is. All right. So it says a 180-degree rotation about the origin. Looks like that to me. Reflection in the line y equals x, no, because a reflection line y equals x, and this point would come down here, where this distance and this distance is the same. So you can use a process of elimination. You can use a process of elimination, right? So it's not this one. It's an enlargement, no, because if it's an enlargement, there'll be a change in size. Well, it's an enlargement of center R, or center R and scale factor of, so if the center of the enlargement was R, then the image of R will be also at the same point. Right? If you have an enlargement center R, then the image point R will be at the same point because the center of an enlargement doesn't move. So that one is wrong. It says a translation. No, it's not a translation because translation, the thing moves from one place to another without turning. So it must be that this is the answer, a 180-degree rotation about the origin. Right, and we can see it because if you look at this point P, for example, if you rotate 180 degrees to go there, and these points are already on the x-axis on a straight line, so clearly it's the same thing. Right, so we have to work out the ones on the x-axis. So it's a 180-degree rotation because it's a straight line through the origin from P to P prime. Right, so that one is the answer. The others don't make any sense. This question is similar to one that we did before, but the values are different. Right? It said the diagram in not joint scale shows angle of depression. Remember, angle of depression looking down is equal to angle of elevation looking up from the other end. So this angle is 35 degrees as well in there. And it says x is 12 meters from y. What is the height? So it's the same question. So let's call the height h. All right. So opposite and adjacent is tan. All right, tan. So you're gonna get tan 35 equals the opposite over the adjacent of 12. Multiply the 12 up here, we get the h equals 12 tan of 35 degrees. So the answer is this one, C. All right, what is that? Moving down. This question already. Scale factor was 2. Explain it already. This one, we did this one already as well. Let's see the change. Okay? Remember, I know there are two possibilities, you know. 4 over 5, 4 over 8, sorry. Sine of this angle would be opposite over hypotenuse. So that is correct. Sine of x would be 4 over 8. Opposite over hypotenuse, so the answer is sine x. Sine x. Let's show this better. Using this as the angle under consideration. And this will be the opposite, and this will be hypotenuse. And then the sine of that angle will be the 4 opposite over the 8 hypotenuse. So the answer is A. This question now, I don't think we'll do this one yet for the day. Well, I know I don't do it yet. It says in the diagram AB and EC are parallel. Now remember, once you have parallel lines, you have Z angles, internal angles. All right. It says what is angle BDE? Angle BDE is this angle right here. So that angle and this angle are the internal angles between the parallel sides. Right? So those are the internal angles, are the U angles. The U here, it's like a U. Internal angle between the parallel sides. So these two angles are up to 180 degrees. Supplementary angles. The internal angle between parallel lines are supplementary angles. So this angle must be 140 degrees. Another way we could have done it is to make the Z angle so that this angle here is 40 degrees. And we could say total angle straight line is 180. Right? And so this angle will be 140 anyway. Right? So we could have done it that way as well. So in any case, the angle is 140. 140. All right, that is that. And we can move on to another paper. So far, we can get to, okay, maybe do another session tomorrow. This is 17. Let's see if we did this question earlier, right? Because this is 9, and this is 4. 9 and 4 is 13. That is 13. What number must be added to this to make 2? It goes 2/3. We have to add 2/3 more. Did this one already as well. I didn't do this one yet. And Betty share a sum of money in the ratio 2 to 3. If Anne receives $60 less than Betty, Anne receives $60 less than Betty, what is the total? So it's the similar kind of difference thing, right? We can do a difference thing. So see here, Anne to Betty to the difference that they get to the total that they get. I'm trying to find the total when the difference is 60. So you see, So Ann is 2, Betty gets 3 parts. The difference between what they get is 1, and the total, the difference is 1, and the total is 5. And what it is, you want the difference to be 60. So all you have to do is multiply the ratio by 60, because you want the difference to be 60. So if you multiply the ratio by 60, this becomes 60, this becomes 300, this becomes 180, this becomes 120. They ask for the total amount shared. Total is 300, which is the same as 120 plus 180. All right, so that's how these questions easy. Just multiply and divide, get what you want. All right, that's it. This question is basically moving decimal points, right? Decimal points. So let's look at it. So they tell us that we make a calculator, and so we'll be smart, right? So this is equal to that. And then now, they basically want us to work out this. So we just need to work out what is the net movement of the decimal point. I'll just move this decimal point by that same net movement. All right, so let's look at it. The net movement of the decimal point. So this decimal point, to go to this one, move 2 units back. All right, so it moved -2 to come to here. And this one moves 1 unit back to come to here. Right? So you have a -1 movement. So the net movement is -3. So to get the answer, all I have to do is move this one now 3 units back. 1, 2, 3. And we're done. Right? Move it 3 units back, and the decimal point is right there. So this is the answer. Simple as that. You can use a calculator. So that is it. Because I'm multiplying all the way. All right. The net movement is -3. So let's move this decimal -3 as well. To know what the final answer is. The net movement is -3. So that is that. All right. Next question. This was marked out of 80. I think we did this question. Boy scored 80. So it was 60 over 100 times 80. I would say that the 60 it was 48. So this must be the answer. That's number 5. So we'll start some more questions. Repeat it now. All right. 30% of a number. 30% of a number is 45. What is 4/5 of a number? All right. So let's need to work that out. We need to find out what the number is first, right? So 30 over 100 times a number is 45. All right. So basically, then this cancel with, let's do the red. The simplify. Remember, we want to find 4/5, you know. So we can find the number first. This cancel that, right? And then we can multiply the 10 across here and get 450, and then divide by the 3. All right. So let's set it up now. So the n becomes 45 times the 10 over the 3. And it's 4/5 for 1 now, you know. So all we have to do now to get the 4/5 is multiply this side by 4/5 and also multiply this side by 4/5. And then whatever this works out to now is the answer. Right? Whatever that works out to now is the answer. So we can cancel them down. Let's use the blue to cancel it down since we have some red in. So we can go 3. We can go 3 into this goes 1 time, and the 3 into the 45 is 15, and then the 5 into this is 1. 5 into 15 is 3. So it becomes 3 times 10 is 30. 30 times 10 is 120. So the 4/5 n is 120. So they wanted 4/5 of the number, 120. All right. This is the only time I see this question. I don't remember seeing this question in our time. That's that. All right. What is the value of the digit 2? This is 2 over 100. 2 divided by 100, that's 2 decimal places. That's 2 over 100. 2 divided by 100. That's 2 places and the decimal point. Because if you divide, if you work this out, it will be equal to 0.02. That's it. Or we can look at it this way. Look at it this way. That 2 there is value 0.02, which is the same as 2 over 100. So the answer is this one. And we want to look at it. What is it? Right? Next question. The highest common factor. Highest common factor. Highest common factor of 12, 15, and 60. Okay, it's a process of elimination as well, right? So 60 is out of it because 60 is not a factor of 12. 12 is out of it because 12 is not a factor of 15. So 12 is out of it. So it has to be 3. 1 is a factor of everybody, you know. But 3 is a factor of those 3 numbers, not 16, 60. 60. 60. It has to be 3. So okay, it's a process of elimination. I'll work it out. I don't want the highest common factor. All right. The next term in the sequence, I think we did this question already, right? Add 5 here first. If we look at it, let's use a reading. We did this question already. The answer was 40, 46. Add 5, and then they add 7, then they add 9, then they add 11. So the next thing I have to add is 13. So we're doing 33 plus 13 is 46. That's why the answer is 46. So we did this question already as well. Never look like this, but it's the same question. Did this question already too. 49 times 17 and 49 times 3 becomes 49 times 20. Right? 49 times 20. All right. Moving down. We're starting a lot of repeats now. P intersect Q intersect S. Yeah, that is a 2. The 2 is common to all 3 of them. So that is this one. All right. This one is P complement. Everything outside of P. P complement. Don't do like this in the exam and work it out. All right. All right. All right. In a class of 32 students, 17 play music, 20 play art. What is the least number of students who play both music and art? So it's the same kind of thing. The number who play art, number in art, plus the number in music must equal the number in the intersection who play both art and music, plus the number in the union, art, union, music. Think about that, you know. All right, so what did they say? The number in music is 17. The number in music is 17. The number in art is 20. Equals the number in the union in the class, everybody, is 32. And you want to find this now. This work out to 37. So this side must be 37 as well. And alphabet is 37. Then this has to be 5. So the answer is 5. Simple as that. It's the same question written up in a different way. Right? Both must be 5, intersection. All right? Simple as that. Next question. All right. So P are factors of 6 and factors of 4. So the factors of 6 are 1, 2, 3, and 6. And the factors of 4 are 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and 4. And the question is asking for the shaded region. Shaded region is the intersection. So the intersection would be the 1 and the 1 and the 2 and the 2. So the 1, 2. Mute the mic, please. The intersection will be the 1 and the 2. Shaded region is the intersection, the 1 and the 2. All right. Just cost 180 is being sold at discount. The amount of discount is $18, 10%. We discussed it already as well. The value of a plot of land is 18,000. Land tax is charged at 7 cents. We did discuss some of the values are different, so let's work it over again. 70 cents. And what is the total amount? All right, I think the values were different. I think the question we did was like 45,000 or something like that. All right, so it's 70 cents every $100. Every $100. All right, so we can do this. All right, want to know how many $100 are in the 18,000. So it's 18,000 divided by 100. That tells you the number of $100 in it. And for each one, it is 70 cents. 70 cents. Let's put the dollar sign. For each of the $100, you're paying 70 cents. It's times 0.70. This for the calculation. All right. You want to do this question already. The answer was 126. Yeah, the answer was 126. You work it down to 126. You worked out already. Let's not waste time. 126. All right. At the end of the year, cars were 5%. This question already, and answer was 10,000. We did this question already. Right? Because we said new value was 95%, so it was 95 over 100 times the value was equal to 9,500. 9,500. And 9,500 is a discounted value. So the value is 10,000. Right? We did this question earlier as well. We're trying not to repeat, right? Try not to repeat. All right. We did this one already as well. I think the question is said 35%. I remember the question. I don't remember if it said 35%. Let's work it out again. That's number 19, number 18. A man bought a mobile phone for $800 and sold it for $1,000. What is his profit as a percentage of the cost? The profit is clearly $200, right? You do have to calculate that. That is $200. And you have to calculate it as a percentage of the cost. So the percentage profit as a percentage of the cost is $200 divided by the cost of $800 times 100. That's what you're working out. So it's a quarter. So it's 25%. That works out 25%. Because this is a quarter, 1/4. Quarter of 100. All right, 25%. We did this earlier. All right, here was the taxable. The tax-free allowance is $1,300, and he gets a salary of $45,000. So the taxable income, is equal to 45,000 minus 13,000, which works out to be 32,000. I'm talking about dollars. And you pay that tax of 35%. So the tax then is 35 over 100 times the 32,000. That's what we're working out. All right, so if you cancel these two, let's use already. Simplify down, cancel these two and cancel these two. Then it's 35 times 320. All right, so it's 35 times 320. All right, so you can work it out step by step. The answer is 11,200. All right, 11,200 is the answer. All right, so that is that. The simple interest on a loan of $6,000 for 3 years is 900. What is the rate? So we're trying to find the R. So now I equals PRT divided by 100. Trying to find the R. So multiply the 100, divide on the P, and divide on the T. Leave R as a subject. So the R equals 100 times the interest divided by the principal and the time. That's what they're working out. So the R equals 100 times the interest is 900 divided by the principal of 6,000 times the time of 3 years. I basically simplifying this down. All right, simplify that down. Go step by step. The answer is 5. All right, if you simplify it down, you're going to get 5. Simplify that down. Let's look at the simplification. Anyway, all right, so 2 of these zeros will cancel 2 of those, right? And then 1 of this will cancel 1 of that. And then 3 into this will give me 30. And then 30 divided by 6 is 5. See, 30 divided by this 6 is now 5. So that's how we simplify it down. All right, next one. We did this one already too, television set. And that's how it's 45. Did this one already, we explained it already. So you can watch the video to see the explanation. Did the one earlier. All right. How much does a customer pay for an article marked $50 if a sales tax of $6 is charged? So it's charged a sales tax, meaning you have to add a tax of $6. Right? So what is the tax? The tax would be 6 over 100 times 50. Right? So it's basically $3 that. $3. Because this is half, right? It is half if you cancel it down. And then 6 over 2 is 3. So that is $3. And so he pays the $50 plus the $3 tax. So it's $53 that he's paying. $53. All right, next one. 7 times the product of 2 numbers A and B may be written. The product of 2 numbers A and B is AB. I want 7 times it. So basically, answer is A. All right, easy question. Next one. Did this one already as well. So we'll just divide 2 by 2. And so this becomes 2 less than x less than or equal to 3. If we divide 2 by 2, so the answer is A. I think it was A when we did it last time too. The coefficient of x in the expansion. The coefficient of x in the expansion is the far product and the near product. Right, you have to actually expand it out. It will be this x times that, and this 3 times this. This is the coefficient of x with the x term. And so that calculation will give us 3x in the middle, that's here. And then this will be minus x. X times minus 1 is minus x. So it's 3x minus x. So it will be 3x in the middle product. Or the near product minus the far product is minus x. So it will be 2x. So the coefficient is 2. So the coefficient is 2. Coefficient is a number in front of x. 2. All right. Next one, this one already again becomes 6 times x to the 2 plus 3, which is 6x to the 5th power. It's another question we did already. So it's this one B. And next one. All right, didn't do this one yet. It says P equals M cubed divided by 2 minus M. M is negative 2. What's the value of P? You have to be careful, it's negative right here. All right. M is negative 2. So we're careful. So therefore, P equals negative 2 cubed divided by 2 minus negative 2. That's it. All right. So the P equals, now negative 2 cubed is negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. So it becomes a negative 8. All right. Because negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Then the positive 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. And then on here now, the minus here makes it a plus. Say 2 plus 2 is 4. So negative 8 divided by 4 is negative 2. So P equals negative 2. So the answer is A. So we didn't do that question. It's the first time we're doing that one. All right. Also, this one's the first time we're doing this one for today. It says A star B means A divided by B minus 1. So what is 7 star 8? So this becomes a A and this becomes a B. Right? So it becomes 7 over 28 minus 1. All right? 7 over 28 is 1 over 4 minus 1. The one is same, this one is same as 4 over 4. So it becomes 1 over 4 minus 4 over 4. So since the denominators are now the same, it becomes minus 3 over 4. 1 minus 4 is minus 3 over 4. So the answer is A. All right. This question was already, and the answer was 4. Because this inside here has to be 7. Because 5 times 7 is 35. And if that there says 7, the x has to be 4. So we did this question already. X is 4. All right. X is 4. This one says, John has X marbles and Max has twice as many marbles as John. Max gives John 5 of his marbles. How many marbles does John now have? All right, so John and Max. Let's set up John and Max. So John has X marbles. Max has twice as many, 2X. Right? So Max gives John 5 of his. So Max now has 2X in minus 5 and John gets 5, X plus 5. Right? 2X minus 5 and John gets 5. How many marbles now does John have? John now has X plus 5. X plus 5. So that says A. You can set up like that and work it out quickly. All right, so let's make a worded thing. All right. When 8 is subtracted from a certain number and the result is multiplied by 3, the answer is 21. We did this question already as well. We said a certain number, 8 is subtracted from a certain number, then multiply by 3, the result is 21. So it means that inside there has to be 7, we divide by the 3. So the x minus 8 we said was 7. So you carry this never 8 now add it, you get x equals 15. I did this one already, I remember. This one, how many kilograms are there in 1 ton? 1,000. Straightforward, 1,000. The volume of a cube, 3 centimeters is 3 times 3 times 3. This already, that's 27. All right, a car travels 80 kilometers is 2.5 hours. 1.5 is 2.5. What is the speed? Remember now, speed equals distance over time. You can do it as a ratio as well. Right? Or rate per hour. Want to know how fast you're going per hour. You can do speed is equal distance over time. Right? So speed equal the distance of 80 over the time of 2.5. Right? 80 over 2.5. I'm going to convert 2.5 to 25 by multiplying numerator and denominator by 10. It becomes 800 over 25. I don't want to work with the decimals. I'm doing 800 divided by 25. So I can divide this now divide this down now by 5 gradually. Or make it easier in the exam. Right, we can say, right, the 8 is the same as 8 times 100 over 25. And then 25 into this is 1, 25 into that is 4. Let's use a red ink. Let's use the red ink. All right, because in the exam, you want to do it quickly. So 25 into this is 1, 25 into this is 4, and then 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 4 is 32. So the answer is now 32. All right, speed equal distance over time. All right, that is that. Moving right along. We did this one already, and the answer was 35. Not gonna waste any time on it. This answer was 35. First same question. This one again, we did this one. The answer is this. All right. I'm not gonna work it out again. Explain it already. This one, a man leaves his home. I didn't do this one yet. A man leaves his home at 22:15 hours and reaches destination is 4 hours on the following day in the same time zone. How many hours did he how many hours did the journey take? All right. So it starts at 22:15. All right, so it's gonna take 45 minutes. I'm gonna add up the time. 45 minutes to reach 23 hours. You're gonna take another hour, 24 hours to reach another hour. That's the next day, so that's 1 hour. And then after that now, it's going to 400 hours, you know. So it's gonna take another 4 hours now to reach 4 hours the next day. It's gonna take another 4 hours. So this guy adding these up, adding up the time. Excuse me. Adding up the time. So it's 5 hours and 45 minutes is 3/4. So it's 5 3/4 hours. It is 5 3/4 hours it took. Just add up the time like that. Nice and easy. All right, moving right along. This one again is about the lake and the 2 centimeters on the map, and the answer was this. So I'm not gonna work it out again. We did it already. Perimeter of a square. The perimeter of a square is 56. Perimeter of a square is 56. And I want to know the area. So the perimeter of the square is 56. Let's call the sides x. So 4 times x equals 56. So length of one side is 56 over 4. 56 over 4. If you divide this out, you're going to get 14. Yeah, 14. So I'm going to get into that was 1 time remainder 1. And then 4 to 16 is 4. All right, 14. So the area is x squared, which is 14 squared, which is 196. 196 is the area. All right. This says what is the volume. We did a question like this already. So the volume is the area of the n, which is pi r squared times the height. The radius is 3. So it becomes pi times 3 squared times the height of 8. That's pi times 9 times 8. And the 9 times 8 is 72. So that's 72 times the pi. 72 pi. So this one is this. 72 pi is that. All right. Pi r squared h is the volume. Next question. Question multiple times. The modal age is 7, correspond to the highest bar. Said that already. And the number of children, we add them up. It was 3 plus 4 plus 2 plus 5 plus 1, just to make sure. So this 2 is 7, this 2 is 7, and 1 make 15. So again, it is 15. Same question. All right, this one again asks for the range. The range is 10 minus 2. That's the range. 10 minus 2, which is 8. We did this question already as well. And then now, all right. So the mean of, we didn't do this one. The mean of 4 numbers is 10. What is x? So let's set up like an equation. So it's 4 plus 8 plus 2x plus 12 over 4 numbers equals 10. I was solving that, right? So this and this are 12, and this make 12 more, that's 24 up there. So it's 24 plus 2x. And you multiply the 4 across here, you get 40. So 24 plus 2x equals 40. All right, and you can divide 2 by 2 and get 12 plus x equals 20. And then therefore the x equals 8. X equals 8. All right, so x must be 8. If you solve for that, x is 8. So you set up like an equation, like you're working out the mean. And then you find the unknown x. Right, this one now. Of 100 students write an exam, 100 are expected to pass. Of 120, total is 120. 100 are expected to pass. They estimate the probability that a randomly selected student will fail. So if 100 will pass, then 20 will fail. 20 will fail. 20 out of the 120. That's probability. Probability becomes 20 out of the total of 120 students will fail. So this cancels this, and then you get 1 over 6. 2 into 12, 6, you get 1 over 6. That's it. 100 pass, 20 fail. So the probability of getting a failure is 20 out of the 120 students. 20 over 120. All right, so that's 1 over 6. Next one. All right, question now is the same question, but this time the mapping is this way. So therefore, this now becomes the domain. See, same question I did before. This is now the domain, and this over here now is the range or the codomain. Right, this is now the range. So remember, to determine which one is a function, your focus is on the domain. So this is now the domain. So because the mapping is from left to right this time, so that is domain. So you're focusing on that. So what in the domain cause it not to be a function? The ones that are not functions. Only one of them is a function. You know. This element map twice is not a function, and this element don't map at all. So those two cause that one not to be a function. This one map twice, so that one is not a function. Each element must map, and when they map, they have to map one time. This one don't map, so it's not a function. That causes it not to be a function. This one map twice, that also causes it not to be a function. This one is a function because each element map, and when they map only one time. All right, so the last one is a function. So the answer is this. This is the answer. Let me erase this thing. Remember, it is a domain that tells you if you have a function or not. Right? It has nothing to do with the range. The domain is what tells you if you have a function or not. So remember the x's and these. So what I've circled are the reasons why these are not functions. Each element must map one time, must have one arrow coming off it from the domain. And notice the same question, the last one we did, these were the domain. Right? This time, these are the domain. All right, so I'm happy that we got to this question. All right, over here, I think we did this question already. The wanted intersection of the y-axis again, and y-axis, yeah, and it is this point 0, -2. 0, -2. This one I didn't do this one yet. It says h of x is that, what is h of -6? So h of -6 can be 3 times -6 minus 2 over 5. 3 times -6 is -18. -18 minus 2 over 5. -18 and -2 is -20 over 5. -20 over 5 is -4. -4. That is it, -4. All right. That is that. Next one. So which of these now is, which of these is for the number line? So we have an open circle on the 2, -2, and an open circle on the 3. So it means that you must have a less than sign here and a less than sign there, and the x is between them. Right? less than sign here and a less than sign there. X is between them. This is 3 and this is -2. Less than because the circles are unshaded. All right, so that's what we're looking for now. Mark this properly. Less than sign. So this is the answer. 2 less than sign because the two ends
Mr. Shaw, send
are
you.
open. Ah?
Sorry.
Okay, number 50. Yeah, we did this one already as well. Intersect with the
So send me the link while you give me your phone.
line y equals 0. On the line y equals 0 is just the x-axis. Y equals the x-axis. So the question is talking about these 2 points of the graph intersect the x-axis here and here. 0 and 4. Mute P is mute mic. X equals 0, x equals 4. All right. That. And then 51. We did this question already again because we keep adding 3. 2 plus 3.
Got it?
And 5 plus 3. Then 8 plus 3. Then 11 plus 3. So therefore it is always the x value plus 3. So x plus 3 is here. X plus 3. That is it. Y is equal to x plus 3. F of x equals x plus 3. Also did this question, we'll talk about the total exterior angles is always 360 degrees. And the regular polygon meaning has the same number of sides. And each angle is 60. So 60 degrees times n angles equals 360. Because the total exterior angles must always be 360. So the n therefore is equal to 6. So the polygon has 6 sides, 6 angles, and so it's a hexagon. Hexagon. So explain that one already as well. Let's continue. And then see the question that we're familiar with. All right, so this now vertical opposite angles. It says report the measure of angle ABE. ABE. ABE is this angle right here. So clearly we're going to use total angle on a straight line. So this angle is 180 degrees minus 58 degrees. 180 minus 58. All right, so that is 122. Total angle on a straight line we use right there. That's angle at the one, angle ABE. All right. This one already as well. It's an isosceles triangle, so this angle is 30 degrees. So those two add up to 60. So this one up here at the one is 180 minus the 2 times 30. So it's 120. This one maybe 3 times already. All right, let's look at this one now. This one says, for this diagram, show the line y equals x. What is the image of line y equals x when it is rotated anticlockwise, anticlockwise about O to an angle of 90 degrees. So if we rotate it 90 degrees anticlockwise around this way, it's gonna go like this. Rotate it 90 degrees this way. This angle is 90. That line is line y equals minus x. But I must know that that line is y equals minus x. So the image is going to be the line y equals minus x. First time we're doing this question from the y equals minus x. This one, we do this one already. And we use 2 methods to do it. And, well, no, this one we don't want the length, right? So we said you can treat like an enlargement. This is half to go to here. Right, because it's similar triangle, so times half. So the corresponding length here must also times half. And so this length is 3.5. That's what I want. The length of MO is 3.5. So answer here is 3.5. There's another question where this would ask about area. Right? This one is asking about the length. All right, that's 56. Next question This one, we can do this one from the, it says in the triangle not drawn to scale, angle BAC is 30 and that hypotenuse is 40. Length of BC, that's this length. So this angle is the opposite, and this is the hypotenuse. Right? So opposite and hypotenuse are connected with the sine of an angle trig ratio. So sine of 30 degrees equals the opposite side. We're trying to find over the hypotenuse of 40. So let's multiply the 40 up here to get the opposite side, BC. All right, so the opposite side, BC, is equal to 40 times the sine of 30 degrees. 40 times the sine of 30 degrees. That's it. We do maths at a higher level, you notice that this is a sine of a sine fraction of the hypotenuse, you know. It's just 40 sine 30, but that's when you do maths at a higher level. This now is your 8, 15, 17 triangle, right? 8, 15, 17 triangle. Or if you want to use Pythagoras theorem, this is the hypotenuse. Why? Because it is opposite the 90. All right, so if you know your Pythagorean triple, 8, 15, 17, then you know that the answer is 8. Well, let's say you don't know that and you want to find the x. Pythagoras theorem says the hypotenuse squared, yeah, let's write it out. The hypotenuse squared is equal to the sum of the square of the other two sides. Let's call it a squared plus b squared. Right? The hypotenuse is c, so let's say c squared. The hypotenuse is side c. If this angle is c, then this is side c. If this angle is a, then this is side a. If this angle is b, then this is side b. All right. So right now we're trying to find one of the sides, the x, right? So if I call it x, so the a squared is really x squared. Right? So trying to define the x squared, it will be equal to c squared minus b squared. And so it will be 17 squared minus 15 squared equals x squared. All right, so it will be 17 minus 15. Treat it as the difference of two squares times 17 plus 15. And so it becomes 2 times 32. All that equals x squared now. And 2 times 32 equals 64. So this is 64. And then to find the x, is the square root of 64, which is 8. It's just easier if you know the Pythagorean triple. 8, 15, 17 triangle. So the answer is 8. All right, it's an 8, 15, 17 triangle. We use Pythagoras' theorem to solve it right there. All right, this one says, we did this one already as well. One angle is x in a triangle and the other angle is 2x in a triangle. Then the size of the one that we don't know must be 180 minus 3x. 180 minus the sum of the other two. And that is that. First, now we're doing this question for the day. This is a surveyor sets up his instrument 12 meters from the foot of a building and records the angle of elevation of the top of the building. So the angle of elevation up here is 40 degrees from the horizontal, right? And he is 12 meters away from the building. Question says, an estimate of the height of the building obtained by calculating what? So the height of the building is this overall height. So it will be the 1.6 right here. 1.6 plus height in the triangle right here. Let's call it h, small h. Right? So we're trying to find that. So if we can find a small h, we have to add the 1.6 to it. So you know the answer is one of these two. All right. So remember also that in this triangle, I'm using red ink. This distance on there is 12. That's horizontal. So this distance here also is 12. So if I isolate this triangle, take it out, And what you have is a triangle like this. Let me draw it better. Take out that triangle with the building up there. That means that this angle is 40. This distance is 12. That's a right angle. And they're trying to find this height h to add to the 1.6. So it's tan you have to use, right? Because the opposite and the adjacent involve opposite and adjacent. Or the sides involved. So I've used tan. So here you're gonna say the tan of 40 equals the height over the 12, opposite over adjacent. So multiply with 12. All right, so the height, small height in the triangle becomes 12 and the tan of 40 degrees. And therefore the overall height then is the 12 tan of 40 up here plus the 1.6. All right, so the answer is this one, 1.6 plus the 12 tan of 40. Hope you understand it. 1.6 at the bottom down here plus this h, which will work out to be 12 tan 40. So that is 1.6 plus 12 tan 40. Question wanted the height of the building, overall height of the building. So it's 1.6 plus a section in the triangle there. All right, that is it. That's number 60. Moving right along to the next paper. All right. This question is 2 over 3 squared. So it becomes 2 squared over 3 squared is 4 over 9. 4 over 9. I don't think we did this one. All right. This one is similar to the one that we did a while ago. We will move the decimal point. So if they tell us that this equals this, so to go from this to this, now we need to just see how many places the decimal point move and apply that net change to the decimal point. That's the easy way to do it. All right, that's the easy way to do it. So to go to this one, the decimal point moved. It moved 1 unit to the left, which is -1, and then it moved 3 units to the right to get a 0 there, which is +3. So the net change is a +2 movement. So all you have to do now is take this value and move the decimal point 2 places to the right to get the answer, right? So take this to 1.591 and move the decimal place, a net change of 2 places to the right to here. And so the answer is 159.1. Right? 159.1. That's what this will be equal to. Everybody understands that. 159 point. Let's work out the net change in the net movement of the decimal point from these two to these two. The net change in the net movement of the decimal point. So move that net change on this answer there to get that final value. All right, so it's 159 point. You have to waste time work out anything. All right, this one. This notation in standard form. So we want this decimal point to go here. Right? So look how we can do it now. So it's 208.06. To move the decimal point to here, we have to multiply. We have to multiply by 10 to the -2. But to cancel multiply by 10 to the -2, multiply by 10 squared. And this part will move the decimal point for us. And so it becomes 2.0806 times 10 squared. And that is the A. All right, that is the A. If you can look at it, this answer would give you about that. All right, so sometimes you can just check what the answer would give you. All right, next question. It says $560 is sharing ratio 2 to 3 to 9. And the difference between, they want us to tell them the difference between the largest and the smallest. The difference between the largest and the smallest. So what we can do, we can set up again 2 to 3 to 9. and we can put in a total. We can put in a total, and the total will be 14. And what it is that we want the 14 to become 560, and the rest of it will tell us what it is. Now, 14 times 10 is 140, and then 140 times 4 is 560. So basically, I'm multiplying by 40. And so if we multiply the ratio by 40, then the total will become 560, and we will know what the values are. Right? So we multiply it by 40, each value by 40. This becomes 80. This becomes 120. This becomes 360. And the total becomes 560. So it means that these are now the actual parts. And so the difference between the largest and the smallest is then 360 minus 80. That's the difference between the largest and the smallest, right? So it's 360 minus 80, which is 280, is the difference between the largest and the smallest. 280. All right, that is that. Next part. 60% of a number is already discussed already. We did this question a while ago with the 4/5 n. Just do it a while ago. And the answer was 120. So I'm not gonna go and work it over again, right? Just did it. All right. We just did it a while ago. Let's just work it again. 60 over 100 times a number equals 90. 60% of a number is 90. And I want us to tell them 4/5 of the number. All right, so we can simplify this down first and say the number is 90 times 100 over 60. All right, multiply the 100 and divide on the 60. All right, and then we want 4/5 of that. So because we want 4/5 of that, it's like we multiply both sides by 4 over 5 now. Multiply both sides by 4 over 5. And then whatever that work out to now is the answer. And so we just simplify it down, take your time, simplify it down, and the answer is 120. All right, let me simplify it down. All right, so 0 into that goes that, take your time, and then we can go 5 into this is 1, 5 into this is 2, 2 into this is 1, 2 into this is 3, 3 into 90 is 30, and then 30 times 4 is 120. Anyway, work it down, you're going to get the same answer, right? So it's 120. That is the answer, 120. All right, so second, next time we see it, we're not going to do it, right? Just, that's it. All right. Do this question already. Again, it's the third time we're seeing this question. The answer is 6. Explain it already. This 25% times 60% times 40. And then this one again, we did this one, same question. 3 is an even number. What is an odd number? So either the number before or the number after. So the number before would be this one, would be even. All right. And then this one already as well. We write it as 99 times 100 plus 1. So it becomes 99 times 100 plus 99 times 1. So this is it. Did that question already. What's the least number of apples that can be shared equal between 6, 8, and 9 children? I think we did this, the value is different. So it's 6, 8, and 9. Looking for the lowest common multiple of 6, 8, and 9. Right? The lowest common multiple of 6, 8, and 9. Right? What we can do is basically multiply them up, or you can use a process of elimination. Right? 6, 8, and 9. Well, 36 is not a multiple of 8, so that one out of it. So we can use a process of elimination. 48 is not a multiple of 9, so that one out of it. That one out of it. 54 is not a multiple of what? Of the 9 as well, that one out of it. The 72 is a multiple of all of them. Right? The 72 is a multiple of all of them. So the 72 is the answer. All right, so we can do that. I list out the multiples. But we can use the process of elimination. You're looking for the lowest common multiple. LCM, that's what you want. Lowest common multiple of those three values. All right. What is the value of the digit 2? We did this question a while ago. It was 2 over 100, right? 2 over 100. Moving along down here. This question is a similar one again. Number in X. Let's see if we can set it up here. Number in X plus number in Y must equal number in X intersect Y plus number in X union Y. And you put in the value that you know. So the number in X is 9. The number in the intersection is 4. The number in the union is 15. So these two add up to 19. This side also must add up to 19. And so this has to be 10. The answer is 10. The one that you don't know is 10. Simple as that. So you see, they set this question all the time, unlike this. This is P complement, everything outside of P. Everybody knows that one. This one is similar to the one that we just do up there. We did this one already as well, and the answer was 5. Right? We did this one a while ago. Same thing, number in A plus number in M equals number in the intersection plus a number in the union. We did it a while ago. The answer is 5. All right, we don't have to work it out again. This one again, we did this one already. So how many do not play volleyball? That's don't play volleyball and don't play volleyball. That's 8. All right, do not play volleyball. 8. That's D. Because it's 5 and 3 is 8. This one, cost of a calculator. This one, the cost of a calculator exclusive of a sales tax is 120. Susan bought a calculator and paid a sales tax of 10%. How much change would she receive from 140? So we need to know the total amount that she paid. All right, so let's break it down. It's $120. So the tax is 10% of the 120. All right, which is $12. Not $120, $12. And therefore, the total that she has to pay, is the $120 plus $12, which is $132. And therefore, if she pay $40, then our change would be $140 minus $132 that she has to pay. That's $8 change she will get, $8 change. That's it. I'm not bothering to put the dollar sign because, you know, like we in an exam, working in dollars. This one, at the end of any year, a car is worth 5% less. I did this question already, and answer was 10,000. Right? So we'll have to work it again. I think we did it twice or 3 times already. All right, that is 10. A lot of these questions repeated. All right, an article bought for $125 sold for $175. The profit of that percentage. All right, so it sold for $175, $175, and it was bought for $125. Then clearly the profit is $50. Clearly the profit is $50. Therefore, the percentage profit is the $50 profit over the original cost of $125 times 100. That's how you work it out. And just cancel this down gradually, as usual. All right, so again, 25 into this is 5 times. 25 into this is 2 times, and 5 into this is 1, and 5 into this is 20. 2 times 20 is 40. All right, so that percentage profit is 40%. The 2 times the 20 is 40. That is left. We did this question already, the higher purchase question. I think we see it the 4th time now. The 45 was the answer. Right. We did it already. The total higher purchase was $295. All right. Next one. The company employs 12 gardeners at $26 per day, 8 clerks at $17 per day. What is the mean daily for wage for the 20? So it's a weighted average thing, right? A weighted average. There are 20 of them, you know. So it will be 12 times $26 plus 8 times $17, and it's 20 workers. So that's the total pay of all the workers. 12 times $26 and 8 times $17, and they dividing that by 20. All right. So 12 times 26 now. So 12 times 26 is 10. Let's work it out over here. Is 10 times 26 plus 2 times 26. So that's 260 plus 52. Right? So that's 212. 212. So this is 212. Let's work it down now. Plus the 8 times 17 now. The 8 times 17 is really 8 times 10 plus 8 times 7. Right? 8 times 10 plus 8 times 7. That's 80 and what's that? 56. So that's 136. 136. And divide them by 20. All right, and then you add them up now. You add up this and this now. So it becomes, when you add them up, it becomes, it was very easy. It becomes 448 over 20. 448 over 20. And so you divide them by the 2. And when you divide by the 2, it basically becomes, you divide this 0. I move this decimal point here first and then divide it by 2. So you get $22.40. 22.40 is the answer. 22.40. 22.40. $22.40 is the answer. All right. And that's that. Moving right along. This question says, question 20, item 20 refers to the table which shows the rates charged by insurance company. 25 cents for every $100 is house insurance. 50 cents for every $100 is content insurance. Right? How much will a person pay if his house is valued at $50,000 and the content is $10,000? All right. So multiple ways this can be done. Multiple ways this can be done. You have to realize that the 25 cents, remember, is $0.25, and the 50 cents is $0.50. All right. So you want to know how many $100 are in the 50,000, and you multiply each of them by the 0.25. And you want to know how many $100 are in the 10,000, and you multiply each of them by 0.5. So the total is going to be the house first is 50,000 divided by 100. That's how many times you have 50,000. And for each one is 0.25. Plus, we're going to work that out and then add it. And then plus, it is 10,000 divided by 100. I want to know how many 100s in it. And for each of them, you're paying $50. 0.5. 50 cents is $0.5. 0.50. Work that out. All right. So if you work it out step by step, break it down, step by step again in the exam, so you break it down. So 2 into that, and 2 cancel that. Then in 2 0 here, so move decimal point to the front. So it becomes 5 times 25. It becomes 5 times 25. 5 times 25 is 125, right? So this becomes 125. 125. That one becomes. And then this one is a similar thing. Just take your time and break it down. So 100 into that goes that. And then 200 here, move the decimal point 2 places to the right, got 50. Right? So that works out to 50. So this part now is 50. So this is 50. And they add them. 125 plus 150 is 175. So that's it, $175. All right, let's take your time and work it down like that. All right, next one. All right, the simple interest on $800 for 3 years is 54. What is the rate? Same thing again. I equals PRT divided by 100. I'm trying to find the rate. So transpose everything away from the R, you get 100 I over the principal, and the time is equal to the rate. All right, now the principal is the simple interest on 800, that's the principal, for 3 years at a time, and the interest is 54 at the interest. I'm trying to find, so plug in those values. So the rate is 100 times the interest of 54 divided by the principal of 800. I'm leaving off the dollar sign, times the time of 3 years. Right, and basically working this down, just cancel it down. All right, let's see if we cancel it down. What we get. All right, firstly, these 200s cancel each other. All right, and then 3 into this is 1 time. 3 into this is 1, remainder 2, so that's 18, because 3 into 24 is 18. And so it works down to, basically works down to 18 over 8. I can cancel down further by dividing through by 2. 2 into this is 4. 2 into this is 9. So it becomes 9 over 4. 9 over 4. So it becomes 9 over 4%, which basically is 2 and remainder 1 over 4. 2 remainder 1. What am I the 9 over 4? 2 remainder 1, right? 2 1/4. See here. 2 1/4. That is it. Percent. That is the R. All right. So take your time when you work it down in the exam. It says Tom bought a pen for $6 and sold it to gain 20%. How much did he gain? He gained 20%. So basically just working out 20% times $60, which is easy because you just work out 10%. 10% is 6. And so 20% is 12. This works out $12. $12. Answer is A. 10% is 6, so 20% is 12. All right, this one, easy again. The two denominators are the same, so just add the numerator values. So it becomes 6 over 5x. Easy. Two denominators are the same, so just add the numerator and put the common denominator. 6 over 5x is that one. This one, similar again. If you want to make x a subject, just divide through by 2. You divide through by 2. The 6 divided by the 2 is 3. The 2x divided by the 2 is x. The 8 divided by the 2 is 4. So you're between 3 and 4. Inequality sign stays the same. So that's it, A. All right, this is A. Just divide through by 2. Next page. This question again, x is 4, the y is 2. Answer is 2 and 3 or 4. This question comes very often. This one, this expansion, expand here for the negative signs here. So negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 4 is plus 8. So negative 2x plus 8. Answer is this, B. All right, careful negative sign. This one is one that they settle again. This is, oh, this time is, see, square and square. We saw one earlier where it was cubed. This one is square and square. So if we make sure, don't assume it's the same question. So it becomes 5, the M is 5, this is the M, and this is the N. So it becomes 5 squared minus 5 squared minus 3 squared. That's your 3, 4, 5 triangle, right? So the answer is 4. So it becomes the square root of 25 minus 9, which is the square root of 16, which is 4. But it's good if you just realize it's 3, 4, 5 triangle. Answer is 4. Next question, number 28. So John saves X dollars each month, but in March he saves $5 less than twice the usual amount. So the usual amount is X. Twice the usual amount is 2X, and he saves $5 less that, less 5. That's the amount that he saves. 2X minus 5. So that's it, 2X minus 5. Twice the usual amount and $5 less than twice. $5 less than twice. That's it. Next one. We did this question already. And oh, this time we ask for the value of X minus 1. Oh my goodness. Not the value of X, you know. Ask for the value of X minus 1. That's what they want. So have to be careful. Not the value of X. Only one that we did is what X minus 1 they wanted. Well, even so, let's do this one. The value of X minus 1, not X. So this basically, look at this as 3 times X minus 1 minus 2 times X minus 1. So 3 of this minus 2 of this gives you 1 of it. So X minus 1 is just equal to 7. Everybody can understand that. 3 of something minus 1 of some minus 2 of something equals 1 something. 3 of that minus 2 of that equals 1 of that. So 1x minus 1 is equal to 7. So the answer is 7. X minus 1 they wanted, not X. They wanted X minus 1, which is 7. This one, 8AR squared becomes 8 squared times A squared. The 8 squared is 64 times A squared. So 64A squared, which is that. So you see this question up here, I'm really worried about what we did before now. I don't know if we can find them back. Because it's X minus 1 I wanted in this one, not X. So if you look and see. I look through overnight. If it's so, I'll let you know. Right? So I have to read the questions carefully. I just saw it, you know. Just came up there. Anyway. We did this one already. 2 to the 6 divided. When you divide the indices, you subtract the powers. So it's 2 to the 6 minus 2. It's 2 to the 4th power. We did this one already as well. 2 to the 4th power. 2 tons. 554 kilograms is the same as what? Now the 2 tons is 2,000 kilograms, you know. So this is 2,000 kilograms. And then 54 more. So it's 2,054. So this is it, 2,054. Because the 2 tons is 2,000 kilograms. So 2,054 kilograms. All right, so that is that, 2,054. 2,000 kilograms plus 54. All right, next question. First time I see that one, too. I remember seeing that one. This one says, if the circumference is 15, then the length of the minor arc is theta over 360 times the circumference. The angle is 120, so it's theta over 360 times the circumference. The theta is 120 over 360. Circumference says 15. So it's 120 over 360 times 15, which is this. That's a minor arc. This part is a minor arc. The arc subtended by the 120 degrees. All right, minor. So that is it. All right. Next question. Did this one before, right? Was that the radius was 3 and the volume was pi r squared h. So it was pi times 3 squared times 20. 3 squared is 9. 9 times 20 is 180. So it's pi times 180. So it's 180 pi. The answer is A. Did that one already. Next time we'll see if we're going to for it. This one now says in the diagram the length of the minor arc is 8. We did this one already. The arc is 8. And asking for the circumference. Is 48. 60 over 360 times the circumference equals 8. This is 1 over 6. So I multiply the 6 across here. So the C equals C, the circumference C equals 6 times 8, which is 48. The second time we're doing that question also. Next time we're just gonna skip. All right, next one. Next question says 50 guests, each have 2 glasses of champagne. Each glass held 150 milliliters. How many liters of champagne used? Now remember, 1,000 milliliters make a liter. All right, so let's work it out. So it's 50 guests. Each of them have 2 glasses, and each glass has 150 milliliters. So that's a total, 50 guests times 150. So that's 100 times 150 milliliters. So that becomes 1500. That's 15,000 milliliters. So to get liters, they divide by 1,000. So that's 15 liters. 15 liters. So the answer is this one. 15 liters. All right. That is that. The area of a triangle is 60 and the base is 12. What is the perpendicular height? Half base times height equals the area. So that equals 60. The base is 12. So if half of that is, so it means that the b times 8, the base times height is 120. Multiply the 2 across here, 120. What do we want to find? We're trying to find the height. So the base is 12. So the height equals 120 divided by the base. So it's 120 divided by 12, which therefore is 10. So it is 10. The height is 10 centimeters. All right. The perimeter of a square is 52. We did this question already. So 4 times the length of each side is 52. So it means that each side is 52 divided by 4 is 13. 13. So the area, not this one like this, not this. The area is L squared, which is 13 squared. And that is 169. I think the one that we did, it came out to 196. This kind of value that they gave us, right? Just change it, and now the answer is 169. Right, same question, but this value was different. So that's why you have to read the questions carefully. All right, same question, just a different perimeter I gave in the one that we did before. I remember that one was 196, so we can't just assume it's the same question if we read them. All right, next one. All righty, this question says, the circumference of a circle is 132. Given that pi is 20 over 7, the radius of a circle is what? Now remember, circumference is 2 pi r. So 2 pi r is telling us is 132. And I want us to find the radius, right? So it is 2 times 22 over 7 times the radius equals 132. I'm basically trying to find the radius. So that is 44 over 7 times the radius equals 132. So the radius then is 132 times 7 over 44. All right, that's what it is. I just think we can simplify this down. All right, simplify it down. It's gonna come out to be 21. It's gonna come out to be 21. 21, so details of before. All right, let's see. Let's look back at how we did it before up here. Show you how we did it up here. Up here to simplify, we divide both sides by 2 first. Simplify it. And so we get pi r equals 66. All right, divide by 2 first. Then the pi is 22 over 7 times the radius equals 66. So what happens now? 22 into this is 1 time, and 22 into this is 3. Right? Everybody can see that. So divide this side by the 22, you get 1. Divide this side by 22, you get 3. Let's multiply the sum up here. To show you this way, because it's easier. Right? So then the r then equals 3 times 7. The r equals 21. So this is it. All right, so that is that. Next question here. Question says, the item 40 refers to the pie chart which shows the popular games played by 720 students. Everybody add up to 720. How many students play cricket? So what it is that these are percentages. And the total percentage in everything must be 100. 100 is the total percentage. So therefore, the cricket percent, they gave us these three, you know. Everything must add up to 100. So the cricket percent is 100 minus the sum of these. And the sum of these is 30 plus 10 plus 25. So really it is 100 minus is 65, which then is 35%. So therefore, cricket is 35%, right? 35% of 720. So it's 35 over 100. This is percent, right? Cricket is 35%. So it's 35 over 100 times 720. That's what you're working on. All right. 35 over 100 times 720. We can write this down quickly. We can simplify it down, right? Or we can go, we can break it down. We can break it down. Let's say in the exam, you want to get 35% quick. And we can get 35% quick. All right, let's just examine 35%. So we want 35% of 720. Let's break it down. All right, so 10% is 72. And so 5% is half of 22 is 36. So then 35% is 3 times the 10%, which is 3 times 72 plus the 5%, which is 36. And work it out that way now. Now 3 times 72 is 3 times 70 is 210, and 3 times 2 is 6. So 210 plus 6 is 216 plus 36. And that gives us 252. So that's how we can work it out without a calculator. But you could simplify down to 35 over 100 times 720 still. You get the same answer. You could just simplify that down by dividing through by 5 and go down. Work your way down, right? All right, so it's 252. All right, the median of these numbers now, the median. So how many values are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have to add an 11th value in between. So divide it in 5 and 5 first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's right. And 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's not right. Divide it by 5. 5 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the median is in between there. Average of the 5 and the 9, which becomes 14 over 2, which is 7. So the median is 7. All right, so that is that. Next question. If the mean of 4 numbers, so this the question I gave us 2x, you know, this time they give us x. See, that's why you can't swap answers, you know. Just 1 hour ago where they put 2x right there, no. This time is x. All right, so the mean of 4 numbers is 10. Same values except 2x, except x I put 2x. So it's 4 plus 8 plus x plus 12 over 4 equals 10. So this is 12 and 12 is 24. So this is the same thing, but a while ago it was 2x. So it's 24 plus x equals, multiply the 10 over here, the 4 over here, get 40. And so the x is 40 minus 24 is 16. So the standard answer is 16. So I sort of change the question sometime. A while ago when we did it, this was at 2x, not a x. Same values except that was at 2x. So we have to be careful. Don't just go in there and say go and swap answers. This question, same thing again, at least 2 heads. We did that question before, so I'm not gonna go through it again. Answer was a half, 4 out of 8, at least 2 heads. This one, this one, this one, this one. 4 out of 8. 4 over 8. 4 over 8 is a half. This is a half. I think last time the half was at B. All right. This question now says, what is the modal score? Remember, these are your scores, and this is a frequency. This is the highest frequency. That highest frequency corresponds to a score of 2. Corresponds to a score of 2. So the answer is 2. The modal score is 2, not 12. The score that corresponds to the highest frequency. Highest frequency is 12. 12. 2 is a score that occurred 12 times. So the mode is 2. All right. Each of the letters in the word chance is written on a slip of paper of similar size. Written on similar size. The slips of paper are then placed in a bag and thoroughly shaken. What is the probability of randomly drawing a C? So how many C's are there? 2 C's. How many letters are there in all? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the probability of drawing a C is 2 out of 6. 2 out of 6, which is a third. So the answer is this. 2 C's out of 6 letters. That's that. Number 45. Moving on to number 46. Number 46. All right. So critical values are 2, -2, and 4. The equal is on there, so you need a shaded circle on the 2, -2. You also need a shaded circle on the -4 because of the equal sign in both of them and between them. So you need a shaded circle on both of them. So this is it. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Moving along, we did this question a while ago. Over here now is the domain. Okay, I'm mapping this way. So remember, for it to be a function, each element must map 1 time. Let's mark it again. Let's do it again. This one map twice, so that makes it not a function, and this don't map at all. That makes it not a function. But those two cause that one not to be a function. This one mapping twice, that cause it not to be a function. This one don't map, and this one map twice. That one makes that not a function. So the last one is the function, because each element mapping 1 time alone from the domain. Remember, it's the domain that tells if it's a function or not. And I know that this side is a domain because the mapping is in this direction. The map from the domain to the codomain. All right, so the answer is D. Number 48. The equation of a line which passes point 0, 0, 2. So this is now the C. This is the y-axis intercept. While ago it was 0, 5, I think. So the C equals 2, and the gradient is a third. So that is our M. This is the M. The M is a third. So the C equals 2 and the M equals a third. It's Y equals MX plus C. So this is it. Because the M is a third and the C is 2. All right, this one, we did this one before. F of negative 3 becomes 2 times negative 3 squared minus 1. Negative 3 squared is 9, so you get 2 times 9 minus 1. 2 times 9 is 18 minus 1, that is 17. You could do this question now for the 4th time. All right. Which other following point lies on this line? So this is called any point that satisfies the equation of the line, right? Actually, it's this one, you know, the C value, see? Because this is Y equals MX plus C. See? This is Y equals MX, because Y is the subject. Y equals MX plus C. C is Y-axis intercept when Y is the subject. Y is the subject here. So the gradient is 2, and the Y-axis intercept is 0, is negative 3. So this point is on the line. That's the C point, 0C. This point is 0C. Because when X equals 0, that becomes 0. Y equals negative 3. All right, first now we're doing this question for the 9th. All right, this one. The range of values of this is now x squared. The one that we did before was x cubed. This is now x squared. And that is a minus, you know, it's minus x squared. If I didn't zoom up, I wouldn't see it, you know. Thought it was actually x squared, so it's minus x squared we want, you know. Minus x squared. So what will happen is that this value, let's write them in, this value, let's write them, let's do them individually. The negative 2 is gonna make it negative minus 2 squared. All the values will be negative. Right, so this is going to become negative 4. Then the negative 1 is going to make it become negative minus 1 squared, which is going to become negative 1, because this is going to become 1, you know, and it's going to become 4. This minus comes back here, right? And this minus is this one. Let's continue. Then now the 0 is just going to give you a 0. Minus 0 squared is just 0. And then what happens now is that the 1 going to give you about negative 1 squared, which is negative 1 again. And the 2 is going to give you negative 2 squared, which is negative 4 again. But guess what? You cannot show a value twice in a set, right? So the values in the set are those negative 4, negative 1, and 0. You cannot show the value twice. Right? So that's why this is the answer. Negative 4, negative 1. Those are 2 values map into negative 4 and 2 values map into negative 1. But that is the answer right there. Those are the only output values you get from that. All right. That's it. Because I have this negative in front here. So you have to be careful. I almost didn't see it was a negative. All right, moving along. Next question. We did this one before. We said angle at center twice, so this is 2 times 50. 2 times 50 degrees is 100 degrees. Angle at center is twice angle circumference. And then this one says under this translation, where would this point go? I'm gonna add 2 to this because of that. And then negative 5 minus 3 is negative 8. Let's set it up. It would be 3 negative 5 as a point, and I add the translation to negative 3. And the result is going to be 5 negative 8. 5 negative 8 is this one. And 5 negative 8. Next one, I think we did this one a while ago. Angle ABE, yeah, we did it. This angle right here. We said it was 180 minus 58, which is 122. Right, so it's 122 because total angle of straight line is 180, right? Total angle of straight line to a point is 180. And then come to this one, which of the following are equal? Oh, it refers to the same question. Which of the following are equal? Let's look at them. Let's test them. Angle DBC and CBE. Oh Lord, let's look at it. Let's compare them in the red and see them equal. Angle DBC, angle DBC is this angle, and angle CBE, angle CBE is this angle. No, they're not equal. Those two not equal, right? They're not equal. So A out of it. Next one, angle CBE, angle CBE is this one, and angle ABE, angle ABE is this one. Again, those two not equal. All right, so this one out of it. Then angle ABD is this 58 right here, and angle CBD is this one. Again, those not equal. Those angles not equal. So this one out of it. So the answer must be the last one. Let's see. Angle ABD is this one, and angle CBE, those two angles equal. Vertical opposite. This one is 58 as well. Vertical opposite angles. All right. Vertical opposite. So the answer is the last one. The last one equal. First time we're doing this question for the night or for the day. All right. This one, same thing again. You go 2 across and 1 up. You increase x value by 2, increase y value by 1. So it's 2, 1. So do this question again. 2, 1. This one again is the same question, but this time I put the answer at A. X and 2x, so the total angle is 3x. So the other one, we don't know, must be 180 minus 3x. There. The last time we did it, the answer was D. They add that answer at D. Next question, let's see this one. Same thing again. This cut by half. So this must cut by half. This is 3.5. 3.5. This one now says, from the diagram, sine of C, so C here is opposite. All right, so this is a 5, 12, 13 triangle. That's what we have to know. 5, 12, 13 triangle. If you know the Pythagorean triples, it becomes a lot easier. That's a 5, 12, 13 triangle. But let's say they didn't know a 5, 12, 13. You can work it out. The hypotenuse is the square root of the sum of the square of the other two sides. All right, let me write it up here for you. The hypotenuse will be the square root of the 12 squared and the 5 squared. The 12 squared is 144, and the 5 squared is 25. 144 and 25 is 169. So we're doing the square root of 169, which therefore is 13. So I see it's a 5, 12, 13 triangle. It's good if you know it. And they want the sine now. The sine of this angle is the opposite over the hypotenuse, which then will be 5 over 13, which is A. 5 over 13 is A, opposite over hypotenuse. Sine of C equals opposite divided by the hypotenuse. All right, that is 59. One last question for this paper, and it says, item 60 refers to the diagram which shows a ladder 5 meters. So this ladder is 5 meters long, leaning against a vertical wall. The foot is 3. So it's a 3, 4, 5 triangle. You know? This becomes a right angle triangle right here. It's a right angle triangle right there. So you can use Pythagoras theorem in it. that are 3, 4, 5 triangles. This height is 4. The height is 4. 4 meters are 3, 4, 5 triangles. So the answer is 4. But let's say again you didn't know it was 4. You can use Pythagoras' theorem. I recognize a triangle that this is 5 and this is 3. And I want to find this one. Pythagoras' theorem says that the 5 squared is equal to 3 squared plus the x squared. That's 25 equals 9 plus x squared. Now the 25 minus 9 is 16 equals x squared. And if x squared is 16, then x equals 4. All right, so that's another way we could do it. But it's good if you just know the 3, 4, 5. Pythagorean triple. 3, 4, 5. All right, that is that. Moving right along. Let's see who is still there. All right, let's go. Everybody good?
Yes, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
sir.
There's another paper I'm going to send for us to do, but we can do it in the morning.
More.
I found a mistake today. There's a paper that is repeat. There's another paper that I wanted to put in it that I put the wrong paper by mistake. So
Okay.
if you want, we can break and do the next 3 papers tomorrow. Huh? Want to do that?
Sure,
Yeah, man.
sir.
That can work.
All right. All right. So we break now. But we're gonna start early tomorrow now, because guess what? I don't want you guys studying tomorrow night, you know.
What you call early, sir?
I don't want anybody studying in the night. You must not study the night before exam. You must go to your bed and sleep and get 8 hours rest.
Yes, sir. There. Jano.
Come work tomorrow again, right? And we'll do. Let me see where we reach. Let me see where we reach.
Sir, what time you call early tomorrow, sir?
Huh?
What time you call early tomorrow, sir?
About 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock too early?
No, not at all.
Okay. So it's 3 papers we're doing tomorrow. We're doing the 16B here and the 16A. So we're doing 16B, 16A, and then the one paper I'm going to send it to you. The one paper that I did not include in this, that I left out by mistake. Right? Because I sent a paper twice. I didn't realize. It's a paper that I sent twice. Right? I sent it as the wrong one. So I have it. I'm going to prepare it and send it to you guys. So send it to the group and stuff. So you can have it to look at overnight. It's a different paper. It's not in this set, but I want you to have it as well. All right, so I'll send it and we'll work on it tomorrow. And we'll do these last 2 papers. So basically doing 3 papers tomorrow. Right? The aim is to start at 9 o'clock. I'll let you know in the WhatsApp group as usual to let you know exactly what time. But the aim is 9 o'clock in the morning. Remember, we'll start a little bit. Let me stop the recording first. Hold on, let me stop the recording. Let me leave the recording because this is important. Other person might want to listen. I don't want any studying in the night tomorrow night. Don't be up studying in the night before the exam, especially you 4th farmers who are doing CXC for the first time. Right? You need to go to your bed and sleep. You are well prepared. You have done these questions over and over again. You need to be sharp and your brain well rested. So for example, if there's a small change to a question as you've been seeing, you'll be able to pick it up quickly because your brain is sharp. Your brain is sharp when you're rested. Right? Don't be up studying in the night and trying to do no more paper. We have done enough papers. Make tomorrow papers be the last set of papers we do. What you can do, you can write down or make a note of, say, about 10 questions that you know are always giving you a problem. 10 or so questions that you know are always giving you a problem. Right? And then what you might do is just, have a look over them before you go to your bed. Just those last 10. And have a look over that same 10 questions in the morning before the exam. Remember the 9 o'clock exam, and I say, the time in the morning to study. I don't want anybody waking up 4 o'clock in the morning about the working paper. Right? Because you're going to go in the exam exhausted. I don't want anybody working in a question in the morning. Don't let anybody come to you and ask you to work out no question. They should have done that 2 months ago and 3 weeks ago, not the day of the exam. On the day of the exam, you're really only supposed to be working out 60 questions that are on the paper. And you want to work those 60 questions 2 or 3 times. Right? So you want to finish them and you want to go back over them slowly. Make sure, more than likely, a lot of the questions will be repeated. Right? Be careful that it's the same question. Read them carefully. Don't just mark answers. Read the questions carefully. Work them out. When you finish, don't come out the exam room until the time is up. Stay in there and check everything. Work the question 3, 4, 5 times if you have to. Check the answers back in the question. Make sure they work. Right? The ones that you can check. Make sure the answers work back in the question. Don't leave the exam room. I see a lot of people come out the exam room half an hour and all these things. Don't bother them foolishness there. You study the whole year. Just to spend an hour and a half in the exam room, just spend an hour and a half in the exam room. Look how much class we have where it's 3 hours, 4 hours, and all these things. And you just need to spend another one last hour and a half in the exam room to make sure that they get all the marks. The worst thing is to come out the exam room early and then somebody attack and you find out you get a question wrong. Don't let that happen to you. Stay in there till the time up. Check everything. You want to get 60 out of 60. That is the aim. You don't want to give away any mark at all. You want all the marks. 60 out of 60 is the aim. 60 out of 60 is the aim. That is the objective. You can get 60 out of 60. All the questions you have done, you can get 60 out of 60.
Yes,
Even if there are new questions on the paper, take your time, work them through. Right? Take your time and work them through and get them right. Right? Sometimes you use a process of elimination. Remember, the answers are there on the paper. The answers are on the paper. So sometimes you can use the answers to know which one is correct. The answers are there. Let the answers help you when you don't know for certain. Right? So very important, listen to me now. One of the things that costs us sometimes with the exams is indiscipline when people don't follow instructions. You need to follow instructions. So remember, tomorrow evening you go to your bed early. Don't stay up playing no games, watching no TV, listening to music. Go to your bed and sleep. Rest your brain. Lie down in the bed and sleep. Right? Don't wake up in the morning, but you're working on a paper. As I said, you can just write down a little 10 questions or so that you know always giving you problems, just in case you repeat them or if they sit and you like them. Right? You just go in the exam with those questions fresh in your mind. Right? And then you just look back over those 10. The exam starts at 9 o'clock. You want to look over those 10 questions before 8 o'clock. Between 8 and 9, you're not supposed to be studying anything, looking at anything. I see people going in the exam and at the walking in the exam room looking at paper. No. You want your brain to be rested. You want when you come to a mock exam, you just come straight and come do it and get your 54 and your 55 out of 60 and your 58 out of 60. You don't look over nothing before you come to the mock exam. You just come to the mock exam and just get the paper and do it. It's the same thing in the exam room. Nothing says you have to be looking at a paper just before you go in the exam room. You need to go in the exam room in a relaxed mode. The next thing is that when you go in the exam room, you might find people around you that are fidgeting and uneasy and cursing and getting angry and saying, "Chuck, what is man?" and getting kind of antsy. Don't take on those negative energies onto yourself. Don't take on that vibes. Sometimes you go in the exam room and somebody will think bright, you hear them start complaining and the exam, shake and get nervous. And you say, right, him so bright and I'm get nervous. That means I'm supposed to get nervous to know. You don't know the preparation that they have. You know that you are well prepared. You are well prepared for this exam. You have gone through question upon question upon question, paper upon paper upon paper. You know you're well prepared for the paper, so you have that confidence, right? You have that confidence. Even if the questions are different, it will just come to you. Believe me, it will just come to you, and you just take your time, work it out, reason it out. More than likely, let's say you finish the exam paper early. I'm repeating myself because I wanted to get it. Don't come out the exam room. Stay in there until the time is up. Check through everything. Check through the question. especially the ones that you're not so certain about. Check them, check the answers, double check, triple check, check them 4 or 5 times, right? Don't leave any mark in the exam, all right? So basically that is the plan for Monday. Get to the exam early. Get to the exam center early. You want to be at the exam center no later than 8 o'clock. Okay, you want to sit down and relax. Some centers you have to go in the room early, like half an hour early, right? You're not entering the exam room at 9 o'clock and you're starting the exam at 9 o'clock, right? So you need to get there so you can start entering it. Usually them start letting people in the exam room like around 8:30. So the exam starts at 9 o'clock. So you want to be there from 8 o'clock, relax, find out where you put on your paper, find out, you know, get there early so that if there's anything, you have time to adjust to it. If there's anything, all right? Make sure you eat your breakfast. Make sure you have medication if you need any medication, like suppose you have a headache or an injury or whatever. Make sure you have it. Make sure your medication not drowsy. If you feel a little bit nervous, you can drink a little bit of something sweet, not too sweet, because something too sweet will make you get sleepy. Right, so a little bit of honey, for example, one teaspoon of honey will calm you down if you feel a little bit nervous. Make sure that you have your pencil and your clean eraser. Right? Make sure you have your pencil. I think they say it's 2B pencil, but trust me, any pencil that them can see will work, right? You just specify a pencil, but once the pencil bright enough, it will work. Right? Make sure you have a pencil and your clean eraser in case you make a mistake. You can erase the incorrect answer if you make a mistake. Right? Don't leave any question on the paper unshaded. Because remember, you're not getting the marks for an answer that is not shaded. So even if you don't know the answer, make the best guess that you can. Don't leave any answer on the paper unshaded. Shade every answer, because chances are you're shading the right one. Right? Don't leave any answer unshaded. So that's maybe some instruction. I'm going to write them out and send them to the group just to see some of the things that I'm telling you now. They just wanted somebody to hear for yourself. These things important, right? How you prepare and what you do, everything important, as I always tell you. Everything important. So tomorrow night, go to your bed early, no studying in the morning or the exam, right? Go to the exam with your brain well rested, sharp and ready to take on the challenge if there are any challenges there. Right? And go in there with confidence because you are well prepared. Right? I have a lot of confidence in you guys. You should have a lot of confidence in yourself. Same level of work that you get, just think of it as the mock exam in our normal room where you sit down, especially the fourth formers who don't do an exam yet. Just think of it as our same environment, sitting down to do an exam. Don't get flustered and don't let anybody make you panic. Anybody demand at the exam. This is the day you have to be selfish. This is the day you have to be selfish. Anybody wanted help, they should have come to you for help 3 weeks ago or last week. You can't wait till exam man to come and stress you out. You're supposed to be relaxing before your exam. Right? And this goes for all exams, not just maths. All exams. Trust me. So when you're tired in an exam room, you can't think properly. That is when you make a lot of mistakes. So it's very important that you rest. You do all the work already. Rest, it will all come back to you in the exam room. If you stress out yourself by working too much before the exam, even if you know it, you'll be making a mistake and can't help yourself. Right? And somebody say, I'm telling you from personal experience. Right? It's not a guess or a spell thing. I'm telling you from personal experience what happened to me personally. Right? You're in the exam room, you're so tired because you study all night, you're doing the wrong thing, you know you're doing the wrong thing, but you just do it anyway because you're so tired. Don't let that happen. Go to your bed and sleep, and everything will just work out fine. All right. So tomorrow morning we shall go through the last 3 papers we're doing tomorrow. All right. And as I said, tomorrow evening, just relax, man. Just have confidence. You don't need to do anything else. Just go to the exam room and you'll be good. All right. So we're gonna stop it there for today, and we'll pick up back tomorrow. All right, guys.